I'm ever so sorry if you saw an earlier start time and came along roughly, what, an hour ago. What happened was I created the stream, uploaded the image, thumbnail, set the times and the description and everything. And somehow, some way, YouTube again dismissed the future time that I'd set. So I set it for now, and the app took it as being instant. So I come in about a quarter of an hour ago, and it says, "Oh, waiting for Delta Mike," and I've been waiting 45 minutes, and I'm like, "What the fuck?" So yeah, YouTube messed me around on the start time again. That's twice in a month, I think. I think it also got me with the. It also blanked off the thumbnail image at one point. I had to re-upload the thumbnail. So just YouTube shenanigans with the app. There we go, folks. Who's in the house? Who have we got? Anybody chatting? Are we regulars? Are we new? Any newcomers? Feel free to say hello in the chat. I've left the chat wide open. No subscription required. Just come and say hello. Tell us what country, what town you're from. What temperature is it where you are? Rich, hello again. Here again. I just had to nip out for something, and I was amazed at how light it is outside still. Not daylight light. I think it's moonlight behind. It's either moonlight shining bright but through clouds and getting kind of disseminated, or something about the clouds is reflecting the streetlights back down. It's amazingly bright out there for the time of night. But the other thing it is fucking hot. You won't be able to see this. You'll just have to take my word, I think. Unless I could. That's not going to work. Oh, I could do it this way. Could I? Let me see. Let me see. Hand over the camera. Sorry, I am such a fucking amateur at this. Hold on. And torch. And cat-candid buffoonery, obviously. Focus, focus, focus. I'll tell you my reading. My reading's 28. 28 degrees C. I can't prove it to you though, and I'm not sure. Let me know whether you can read that or not. I doubt it. But it's way above the 25 and just under the 30. But that's ridiculous. It's too early in the year for this shit. 10:30 at night, and it's nearly 30 degrees. Let me get the angle back on me. If you look around, folks, actually, I'll give you a quick look around. I forgot to put my lights out in the sun today to charge. So one set's died already. One set is dying. The others don't look too bad, but not perfect, not as bright as it should be. And the ones above me, I've only got 2 of the 3 batteries charged at the minute. One is allegedly still charging, but has been for hours. The wire's a bit dodgy. Okay, now it says charged. Okay, these ones, can you see? Hold on, I don't know if you can see that. There's a green light there. These ones that plug directly into the USB-C, USB A to C leads. Give us a second. This is the box that gave me the fright the other day. I thought I had a mouse or a rat jumping across my bed. Let's see whether this makes a difference. Not really for you guys. I can. Don't tell Farmer. I can, if I can find the right spot on this lamp. Oh, okay, I found it by accident and went the wrong way. Here. That'll be the brightest setting. I can do that, but I will have to plug it in after a while because it probably won't maintain that for too long. It's a fantastic bit of kit. from Leroy Merlin. I don't know how widespread they are in Europe. They're here in Spain, but they seem to be a big chain, and it doesn't sound like a Spanish name. So I don't know whether Leroy Merlin is in the UK or anywhere else. But that particular lamp, I think they were about 14 euros. It can charge from the sun or from a USB A to C cable, and on full brightness, I think it does 4.5 hours. The next level down, the middle one that I typically use, it will do 7 or 8 hours. If you put on the lowest brightness, it did something like 20 hours. I can't remember the exact numbers, but it was crazy. And it's brighter than a night light, but not as bright as a light. But yeah, it's fine for lighting up a room in a tent, or maybe a small room at home. Emergency preparedness again, folks. Lights that work independently, as long as you've got some kind of backup power like an EcoFlow, or can put them out in the sun through the day, like I should have with my Christmas lights, with my fairy lights. Three of the 4 strings are solar powered. 2 of them I've found 2 have got a little bit of a dodgy connection, which is probably why my friends obtained, I don't know, I think they do not house clearances, but they look after, how can you put it? People who rent properties out can't always be there, so they pay someone else to look after keys and to welcome guests and to maybe to clean up after they leave. Sometimes there'll be stuff to throw away or get rid of, and here we go. That's how I came into these things. My friends Adam and Mel. So yeah, I haven't got chat. Why is there no? Okay, because nobody's talking. That would be why. There are 9 of you out there, and only 3 of you have done me the courtesy of hitting the thumbs up. I'm assuming that the lurkers are new and are wondering who, how, what, when, where, why. Talk to a tramp. What tramp? Where tramp? Why tramp? I'm an Englishman. I'm in Spain. I rented an apartment. My bank decided I'm not me. I'm kind of my secondary bank. My first bank, the money was running low. I had an emergency fund, a rainy day fund in another bank. That bank said I'm not me. And that in order to prove I'm me, that can't be done over the internet, over the phone, can't be done through solicitors. They gave me the only route they gave me that was viable, except it wasn't, was to walk into my branch in the UK with my passport. I can't do that. I have a little bit of a Spanish legal issue. The police won't let me leave the country. Arrest me when I did try. But it's not that any offence is so serious that I can't leave. It's not that surrender your passport. It's that they keep saying I've missed court dates and that there's a bench warrant, but they never tell me about any court dates. So they don't bring me paperwork about court dates, but they come and arrest me when I've missed court dates. It's that. So if I tried to book passage out of the country, it'd be 50-50 whether I got out or not, or maybe less than 50-50 because of the uncertainty. I've also got a dog to try and bring out with me, which is a cost. Without access to money, how do I get out of the country? To get to England, to get to my bank and to say, here I am. So I'm in a catch-22. I can't get the money to get out of the country. Even if I could, there's doubt with courts and police. It's all just a mess. So I am a homeless guy trapped in Spain by circumstance with some money in the bank. Not a lot, but a little bit. But I can't get access to that money. So what do you do? Tina, it's okay. It's just one of those silly little scooters going past. They were toys for 3-year-old girls when I was a kid. Real man had a bike. Just settled in Spain. It's very wet over here. Who was that? Sorry, I saw the message. Good music. Hold on. I've got your first name here in my head. You're Irish, but you sound Russian, or your name sounds Russian. Ivan. I got there. It's been a little while. I don't think I've seen you for a little bit. It's very wet over here. Yeah, there are other reasons people keep telling me not to go back to the UK as well. But I'm not legal here, so I can't just settle here, I don't believe. There's no way. Yeah. Hi, Ivan. Um, Took me a little while, mate, because there's you and there's somebody else with a very similar name, pronounced differently. But I had to remember he uses a pseudonym on here, but when he sends me donations through PayPal, then I have to. It's links. I only get that. I don't have direct memories of half of things. I have to make links and remind myself, jog my own memory. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if the people that are here and that are lurking and not talking. I don't know if you're. Oh, there you go. Well, okay, I was just talking about you. Still okay. Still watching. I thought maybe you'd been so busy that you weren't watching anymore. You did house clearances and key holding, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Adam and Mel, everybody. Adam and Mel. When you say you're leaving a few days, is that your permanent thing going back? I'd maybe don't want to be discussing your personal business in front of the world. We can chat direct tomorrow, maybe WhatsApp or whatever. See if I can get that beer can out of the picture. Cheers, everybody. Unbelievably, that is the one that I was on at the end of the other TrampCast, the main TrampCast, however many hours ago that was. I've been caught up with so many things in between, like the shenanigans with the YouTube app. Now I have left myself a bin bag within reach this time, so I don't have to look like a yob just throwing them into that corner to be settled later. I do have one question though. What did I do with that thing? Hold on. Okay, it's sorted. Okay. I had to go do something outside and I should have brought something back into the bedroom and I wasn't sure I had. Didn't remember doing it. Early onset again, folks, maybe? I don't know. I shouldn't joke about it because Chippy's mum and Adela's mum here have both got it proper. So I shouldn't joke about early onset Alzheimer's. I do wonder though, the way my mind doesn't connect anymore. And I know everybody, as we get older, everybody kind of says this, but you see me struggling to make obvious connections and remember obvious things. It does. And this was part of the reason that I moved to Spain in the first place. So yeah. So who else is out there and lurking and not talking to me? You'll be back in Leeds and you can't wait. Okay, if that's okay, that's what you want. Okay. I know things seem to get a little awkward for you at the end of your, was it a commercial visa or something? Yeah. You can't wait to get back. I wonder if you'll still think that a month or two after getting back. That'll be interesting. Keep in touch. Keep in touch. Did you say you go this week? You go back, Tina? Stop it, darling. Leave in the next few days. Yeah, okay. There are other people out there lurking. Oh, you're dropping out. People are leaving me. You're abandoning me already. I don't know. Was it something I said? Okay, I'm guessing that we had an influx of newbies, people who just saw the stream randomly, who came in to see what was what. Maybe I haven't done a good enough introduction. I did break off halfway through, I guess. It's okay, babe. It's a bit warm, but you're okay. I offered you water, didn't I? And you didn't want any. I took you for a walk and you didn't do anything. What do you want? Let me show you. How's the sound, folks? We had a lot of crackling at one point earlier in the other stream. Let's see if I can show you my girl. There she is. How's she going to react if I put a light on her? Hey, babe. You gonna say hello to the peoples? Tina? Oh, look, my other lights just went off. Tina girl? No? Okay. There she is anyway, folks. She was just standing up, moving around, puffing and panting. You see how she encroaches across where my feet need to be, really, though? She's a bugger for it. I guess she looks a bit better in that light, just in the orange glow. Hey, babe, there's nothing wrong. She looks nervous or worried. I don't know why. Is that... Rich says sound is good. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. Let's see if I can just perch myself up a little bit better. Otherwise I'll look like I'm kind of laying down and too relaxed. My beers are all warm, folks. I did not do the wet towel trick or put them in the cooler. And I just ran the cooler. I'm an idiot. I just ran it for an hour and a half. I've got the EcoFlow down what? I think below 80 already. 77, look, already. Start of the night. Oi. I don't know if you'll be able to hear them, but the German bar up the top there seems to have quite a rowdy gang out there tonight. So there's a lot of shouting and almost sounded like a fight at one point. We'll be back for holidays. Big drive to Santander, then the ferry to Plymouth. Keep me updated. Yeah, please do. And thank you for all the help that you've given. The mousetraps, folks. The mousetraps are from these guys. If you've seen my plastic drawers that I've got food in, they've been a revelation. At the electric blanket, at the back end of winter, yeah. And that hopefully, if I am still here next time around, Tina, settle down. Had enough now. She was here before, and I was just like watching a video or something. And when she's not there, she's like snuck out under the door. You know, the zip comes. It's like a letter C. I bring it around, and halfway down, the mattress slips that way, so I don't fasten the bottom. But she's snuck out and pushed down below it, and she sat just staring out of the mosquito net. I haven't closed the outer door. I like a little bit of airflow. But I don't want any moths or anything coming into the lights. But she was just sat there looking out. Took her for a walk, assuming that she was needing something or wanting something. Nothing. She tries to take off on a long fucking walk to nowhere, and then she doesn't realise I'm carrying her. By the time we've got 100 yards away, we've got to come back, and I'm already knackered, and I'm swapping arms, you know, trying to carry this. I guess I'm carrying about 15 kilograms if she's 30, but it's an unstable 15 kilograms. It tries to fall over one way or the other, and the legs go from under it, and it suddenly drops. It's warm in here. I said that at the start. It's about 28 degrees in the tent here, and probably not much different outside. So yeah, but yeah, monster, aren't you? I'm just trying to think what else you brought, folks. You've got also my reserve, my head torch, because my main head torch will, if I press the button, it will work, but the button will fall in, well, not fall, but drop in and not be pressable again. So you have to kind of take it apart and turn it off by pushing the button up. So still a little bit of plastic's broken on my main head torch, and you guys brought me the reserve, my reserve head torch. Which is just in this drawer here waiting to be brought out any day now. I'm sure there's lots more, because you brought me writing pads and the silver sheets, the silver tarpaulins I was talking about in the main TrampCast earlier. Those silver, I don't know if they call them sheets or tarps or what, but I got those, one on the side of the tent here for keep the bedroom cooler that bit longer in the morning when the sun comes up, and one on the south end to keep as much heat out as possible when the sun goes around to the south. That was you guys. all sorts. There's all sorts here that you brought because what we had 3 or 4 visits, maybe more, and you brought water and stuff as well, didn't you? So yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Is the weather good? You got zircon. You always seem to not overheat in your space. I'm too hot tonight. I just stepped outside to do something. When I came back in, I was dripping wet. I had to brush my hair because I put my hand through my hair and it was so wet that it just like stuck out like styling gel. It just, I was fucking Doc Brown or Einstein or something. Um, I don't know what zircon. I don't know what zircon's got to do with anything. Is that a heat reflective material? I don't know what these are. I've got some plastic silver. Um, Imagine small tarpaulins, but are like those blankets that the runners get, the emergency after a marathon. It's like that, but two-sided with a bit of padding in between. It's um, like an emergency blanket, but more so. I've just got those outside. I don't know what size they are, about 2 meters by 1.5 meters, roughly, maybe. One on the side here for the morning sun, one on the south for as it moves around. I could have done really with a tent full of them. You know what I mean? Cover a whole tent, but beggars can't be choosers. Also, I really no. I need to keep them discreet. Something shining up on the main road, or, or maybe by the path here, would have brought um, the police in. What's going on with that light? Have you disconnected it or something, Tina? I always put these Christmas light things on a stable. They have all these options for different types of flicker. I find the most stable setting I can with no flicker or minimal. The larger bulbs here will change like once every minute or two, just a gradual change from one set of colours to the other. That was the most stable I could find of that. But the others have a stable setting. And the white ones over the other side of the tent there went off and have just come on all flickery. Really dim lights. They're low on power, but flickery, which I don't like. Such is life though, folks. Such is life. Let's see whether anybody said anything else. Yeah, the zircon, I don't know what I'm assuming that's some kind of reflective sheeting or something. Not specifically. Always seem to not overheat. You adapt. So when it gets really, really hot, we used to take off to the park and sit under a tree. My doggy can't get that far anymore. There's minimal trees here that you can kind of get under, so not really an option here. My options are to sit outside in the sun. Perversely, that can be cooler, but obviously you're going to get a sunburn if you do it too much. Or to stay inside. I've got electricity. I've got a solar panel and my EcoFlow River 2, and I've got an electric fan. 2 doors in the tent to create a cross draft fan to blow some air into the bedroom here, which is where I sit most of the time. I'm going to experiment with sitting out in the living room part of the tent at some point because of that through draft. I've kind of become used to this position for laying and relaxing, watching videos and just passing time through the day. I've got a coffee table out in the field, but I'm going to throw it away. There isn't room for it in the tent. So where I would put like my phone and stuff or tablet to watch videos is tricky. So how I would pass time out there is a little bit unknown. Also, people walking past can look in through the doors and see what's going on. They can see into the living room. They can't really see into the bedroom. So there's a little bit more privacy here. But making things wet t-shirt or a wet towel. The other day I put 3 wet towels on a clothes area and blew the fan through them. Not through the towel head on, but through parallel with the towels for like a swamp cooler, evaporative cooling. Now that only works at certain humidities, and at times well, no, it will still work, but we're approaching where it becomes inefficient. It's not a great way of cooling once you get above 60% humidity. And some days, surprisingly, some days Spain does get there. Um, when I've been looking, 40 and 50 have been kind of the predicted highest humidity through the day. But there are ways of trying to keep cool. I've got ways of trying to keep food and drink cool. The wet towel wrapped around food or cans or bottles of pop, and lift it off the ground a little bit if you can. Air circulates around. As it evaporates, it cools the, the drink, the water, the pop. My margarine and some aioli out there at the minute, but I've let the towel dry off, and I haven't put any drink in that towel. Should do that really. I said earlier during the TrampCast, I'm thinking of trying putting the wet towel idea into play, wrapping some things in it inside my cool box outside. But the cool box isn't working efficiently or effectively at the minute. I've explained why previously, but I had an insect infestation over winter. I didn't use it. I didn't need it, and I'd accidentally left a little bit of food in there and got an infestation. Cleaned the box out. I've cleaned one level of the mechanism out, but there's another. Excuse me. There's another hidden level of the mechanism, and I can't get into it with my level of, or my lack of mechanical knowledge. So I don't know what to do to make that better, to make that work better. I could just try some percussive maintenance. I could empty it, put it on its side and just smack it from the side and see if stuff drops. I've tried hitting it from above, and that had stuff that was in the first element fall out. But this hidden part, that won't work because that's got a solid. If I just hit that, it's just going to stay where it is. I need to put it on endways on and hit it. I'd had the idea of flushing it through with water, which is tricky with electronics, but can be done sometimes if you leave it to not have any electric stored. If all capacitors or whatever are drained, and you leave it a few days, flush it through with water, and then leave it a few weeks to dry. Obvious risk, but it's like the way you can wash keyboards. Literally wash them. You just have to make sure you dry them thoroughly afterwards, and that they're not plugged in and turned on kind of thing at the moment you introduce the water. It's a gamble, and it's a €120 gamble because that's how much the box was. Now I've had a year of usefulness out of it, so you can kind of mark that down by a little bit. But that would be the approximate value. I guess second hand it'd be somewhere between 60 and €80 still, guessing. But that would be what I was risking. I was also joking, well, half joking earlier about trading up to a bigger EcoFlow. Sell this one on, buy a bigger one, and then get a proper real fridge, maybe. I mean, the solar panel certainly produces enough power to run one for a number of hours per day, especially through the day when, when in full sunshine. Running a fridge in a tent sounds bizarre for a tramp, homeless guy, vagrant, indigent person, whatever term you want to use. Sounds perverse, but isn't beyond the realms of possibility. There was even some discussion as to whether this one would run a fridge, because I thought I'd found a fridge a few weeks ago out in the street by the bins, spotless, you just took one look at it and you could tell it had been looked after and was probably in perfect working condition. I came back, I got the EcoFlow and my trolley, and I went over, took the EcoFlow so that we could plug it in and test it in the street. didn't take my phone, plugged the thing in, it came on for 3 seconds, went off, overloaded the EcoFlow. The EcoFlow has a feature to help deal with that called X-Boost. But to turn it on, I need my phone, and I didn't have my phone. Didn't really know what I was doing either, and realised that I was looking at a freezer, not a fridge, which probably has a higher instant draw when it first kicks on. Tina, no! Get back here! Fuck are you playing at? Get back! Bad girl! Dog. I took you for a walkies. I offered you water. What more could you want? It's bedtime now. I don't know what she's doing, and I don't know why. If you shit the bed now, after not doing anything when we went out, I will be so fucking annoyed. Love you, but you got to behave yourself, okay? That's my girl. Give a smile. That's my girl. Come on, cuddles. I'm angry, but I'm not that angry, okay? We're okay. Just don't try sneaking off like that. Where are you going? You can't walk. How far are you going to get? Maybe she just wants to lie in front of the cooler door? Is that what it is? Give us a second. I'm just going to sit in front of the door. If it looks like she wants to go out, I'm a little bit stuck because I'm talking with you guys. But if she does just want to sit in front of the door, come on. Go on. Let's sit you in. You're not going anywhere or having anything. There's no food or anything. But if you just want to sit in front of the door, you just want to sit there. Okay, babe. Okay. Don't be. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes, Tina, behave now. Oh, it is wet. It is hot in here. Back of my head is wet through. What did I say it was? 28. It's going higher. That's got to be 29. How is it getting hotter at this time of night? Maybe bedroom door closed and two animals in here. Me and my doggy. 2 beings, possibly. Or maybe just the cloud cover or something causes it to get warmer sometimes at night. I wish I had a cold drink to help. I don't know, folks. What are we saying? Is anybody saying anything? Okay. Give me. Hold on. Hebooks is a lady in Scotland somewhere. I forgot. I can't see the avatar. I could have that terribly wrong because I've got a terrible memory and bad eyesight. I could click, couldn't I? At the risk of. Is it a long click? It won't do it when I want it to. Why is that not working? If it is a bloke, I've offended him. I've got a terrible memory though, yeah? Why is it not? Hold on. If I click anybody else, there, look, okay, that worked. Once you get above a certain point, it's the arrow, isn't it? At the bottom of the... It's the arrow. Here we go. Oh, that doesn't help. The picture's no bigger. Talk to me, Hebooks. Male or female, and you did. I'm sure you've given me a name in the past, the last time around, but I'm obviously just not remembering. I'm obviously not remembering anything properly. Suzanne from Preston. It wasn't Scotland, but you are indeed a lady. I sound like something off Little England or something now. Little Britain. Little Britain. I'm a lady. Okay. Suzanne from Preston. Hello again, Suzanne from Preston. I'm sorry for my bad memory. I am terrible. I meet people for the 3rd and 4th time and still can't place them. I've introduced myself to people multiple times on consecutive days. Twice in one day to the same couple once. That was a rather spectacular one. I was introduced to them in the park by a couple that I knew. And then I was sitting having breakfast, maybe it must have been the next day, having breakfast at Murph's, not Murphy's, Murph's on Los Locos, on the promenade, on the seafront. And I heard them talking on the next table, started talking, and did the same conversation. Oh yeah, no, where are you? Oh, you've got a new place out here. Okay, yeah. It's the same couple that had been talking to the day before. Fuck. That's how bad I am, folks. That's how bad I am at this stuff. Oh, back to live chat. Okay, I'm not the only one that experiences it then. It gets hotter around 11. Can anyone confirm or deny? You get a thing, if you're inside, you can get the thing where the stone stores the heat through the day and starts giving it off at night. Or you've closed windows and your body heat inside the building. But I've experienced it sat outside sometimes. And I wonder if it's cloud cover. If you've had clear skies all day, and then in the evening it starts to cool, but then if you get clouds come over and insulate that a little bit more, so the ground gives off the heat and the clouds hold it in, maybe, possibly. I've certainly thought I've felt it before, and inside the tent tonight, I think got hotter in the last 2 or 3 hours. Although I closed doors and things, which could explain it. I've only closed the mosquito net on this door, the outer door here. I haven't closed the door, which is causing a little bit of a problem. Tina! Shut up! Leave people alone. Defending me from the evils that are people on ride-along scooters. Not even electric, that one. That was a push-along, I think. It was a toy of 3-year-old girls when I was a kid. Now you've got like teenagers and young adults still pushing themselves on the push me pull me scooter thing, foot on the ground. Weird. There seems to be a whole generation that hasn't grown up. I think it's because they never played out as kids. Their entire activities were organised for them. Mum and dad drove them to every activity or every play date, as they call them now. We used to just play out. Now you have a play date. Your mum arranges it with their mum and then drives you there. The fuck. When I was 7, I was out on my bike and off to my mate's house, and my mum would say, "Come back when the street lights come on," or come back at lunchtime. Come back for your dinner, kind of thing. Whatever was on that day. We were just off out. If there was anything, if she needed me, there'd be a list of 6 or 7 of the most common friends. Ring around the parents and say, "Have you seen him? Is he there? Or have you seen him? Oh yeah, he's out with our Michael. He was here an hour ago. They're off playing football in the top field," or whatever. There's a whole generation didn't really play out, and now they get to be 17, 18, 20, 25, and they're off playing out, except the dangerous grown adults. Here endeth the lecture. I could rant on about it. I frequently do. It is a topic that I have discussed at length before. I don't know if I've discussed it at length in TrampCast Hangouts, but are you near the coast or more inland? I am 150 meters from the sea. Torrevieja is a coastal town, and I am literally on a field. Then there's some trees. Which way am I pointing? I'm in a field. Then there's some trees. The other side of the trees, there's like a 50-meter open land, open cliff top, all rocky and sandy and what have you. And then there's a cliff down, a slope down, a little bit of a, not a beach, not a sandy beach, a rocky beach. And then there's a sea. Um, it's quite steep, but you can walk diagonally down, and halfway down you hit a set of steps that come from someone's house. Not quite sure what the legality there is of heading for their steps, but everybody does it. Or you can go along the road here, the little track, go along there and go to the right rather than the left. And there's a walkable bank, like a less steep cliff, but entirely walkable. You go down, very, very stony beach again. All Torrevieja is, or should be. Torrevieja's beaches are all artificial. They've either dredged the sand in from further out, in the shallows of the sea, or they've shipped it in and put it over the top of the stones on rocks more than. In most places, it's like solid rock still, and they put the sand over. And when there's a storm or heavy rain, they channel it all towards the sea, and they have these certain storm drains that just wash the sand away, and then they have to dredge it and pull it back or ship in extra sand. And every year they go off to the central government and ask for 25 million euros for the cost of replacing the beaches, because it's required for the tourism-y thing. Better planning of your drainage might work. Actually putting drains in roads instead of having the roads become rivers. When I first came to Torrevieja in 1997, and then came back the second, it amazed me at how much progress they made with roads. They decide they're going to put in a new, not a motorway, but a fairly heavily trafficked road, like the N roads here, N for national, I think. Put those in. They're mainly dual carriageway type things. And you could go home and come back like 2 months later, and there'd be miles and miles and miles of extra road. Whereas in the UK they do, like, I don't know, a mile a month or something, it feels like. Miles and miles and miles. But it's because they haven't bothered with any of that awkward stuff like foundation and drainage. Even camber on the road, where the centre is slightly higher so the rain washes off both ends to the gutter. Even that wasn't a thing. They just threw them in. And the idea was, yeah, it'll wash away in 10 or 20 years. We'll just throw it back down again. We'll just put another one down. Keeps everyone in work more. I've said this about their bureaucracy, but their building strategy kind of has the same attitude. When my in-laws were having a villa built off plan, they wanted a swimming pool. They were shocked to see that the builders had built a wall all around the property. And they're like, but you've got to get in and dig out the pool. Oh, yeah, we'll just knock the wall down and build it back again. And father-in-law's like, well, you're not charging me for building the fucking wall twice. If I've just paid you to build a wall here now, and then you want to knock it down and build it, you could have just waited and built this section of wall afterwards. I'm not paying to have this section of wall built twice and paying for the knocking down. Got in a bit of an argument with the builders over it all. But that's kind of the Spanish way. Create more work. Just get it done now, or give it the appearance of getting done. Yeah. I love the Spanish, but you can't be blind to the downsides, to the way they do some things. Would entertaining be too flippant a kind of term? It is, though. It is. Oh, finger in front of the camera again. No wonder you're still there. Sounds good, even if you're living in a tent. I could argue with that about mice and rats. If you saw my 3 months of what's the word? Well, I've often used the word being plagued by the mice. Until my friends Adam and Mel here stepped in and brought me the 4 mouse traps from Temu, which are fantastic. I've never seen mouse traps like them. I mean, now I've just got them put away in a drawer so that they're not going to get accidentally trodden on or lost in the detritus. See, I tried to be very organised with my storage room, which is the bedroom at the other end of the tent. I built I built things up around the walls, and then the space in the middle, I put one row of stuff piled, not heaped, actual like there'll be boxes and then like a pile of blankets or a pile of coats or something on top. So it was all nice and organised. And there'd be these 2 walkways in, so you could go in and look at the stuff around, get what you wanted. But over time, either the piles got too big or there's some extra things I had that were right in the way, and where are you going to put them? Well, there's some empty floor space. So I didn't want to have my mouse traps get kind of lost over there like that. And a couple of weeks ago, we did see a rat. Well, we saw 2, or maybe we saw the same one twice in different places. Can't be sure. I don't recognise them. I haven't named them and learnt their markings or anything. But in broad daylight, one crossed the field out here, and a couple of hours later, one strolled up to the doorway of the tent. It's just casually in this hedge here, in the grass verge, with all the brambles and whatever, the bushes. But he just, bald as brass, was just walking right towards the tent. Tina spotted it and for once reacted, started barking. She wanted to go and get it, but her back legs don't work. She was bum shuffling towards it. She would have never caught it in a million years. If you've ever tried to kick a rat or chase a rat, they're very fast. They can jump a surprising distance. They can jump a surprising height, I found one time. I did manage to kick one once. I managed to stamp on mice on 2 occasions. Not my proudest moments, but it was like instinctive reaction. Instant kill. Didn't kill the rat. That just took the kick and scurried off. Animals often will die from shock after something like that, so it's possible it scurried off into the other field and maybe died that night. Maybe. I don't know. But the other year I was plagued by rats and mice, because the tent I had at the time, you could just get under. The walls weren't connected to the ground sheet. There was the walls came down, separate ground sheet, and anything could pop under at any point. So I was plagued by them in not the last tent, the one before. Mice did get in the end in the tent just before this one, the tent that we just got out of. What, 6? I guesstimate it was 6 weeks ago. I can't be sure. The mice eventually got in there and plagued me for 3 solid months. And then my friends provided these traps and we killed 6 in one night. 3 not the next day but the day after, and 1 the morning after that. And I think 1 a week for 2 weeks after that. And then they were pretty much done. I think they'd learnt their lesson, or we'd eradicated that particular clutch or family or whatever nest, I don't know, whatever the collective noun for mice is. And then we swapped out tents, so we've got a more solid floor under us now. We took the rug, the carpet that we had in the old tent, we turned it upside down, we put it on the floor, covering mouse holes, and we cut the bottom of the tent. Well, we separated the floor from the walls of the old tent. Not that there was much left in the way of walls. and the floor had holes in where mice had dug up. So we turned it around and we rotated it and left it in place, but meaning that the holes in the plastic don't line up where the mouse holes were. We'd put stones and stuff down the mouse holes, mouse holes, whatever the right word there is, and then put this. So we'd got previous tent floors in place and ground sheets and things from previous iterations. I've been on the same spot now with 4 dwellings. Yeah. My first one was 6 mop handles pushed into the ground, hammered into the ground, and a tarpaulin put over the top. And then 2 arches created out of 4 branches bent over with stakes into the ground. So that was my first one. Literally, you've got to watch my first video for that. I'm kind of proud and kind of embarrassed at the same time by the thing I constructed. And you'll never see it in its heyday. When I first built it, I could pull the tarp quite tight over these arches and create quite a taut and domed kind of roof. But by the end, it became so fragile, the plastic, I couldn't pull it tight. Even the wind blowing would create about a dozen new holes per day in the end. So my first ever video is of that particular shack in its worst ever state at the beginning of 12 days of, no, maybe 10 days of thunder and lightning, storms. The forecast was for all day storms, more or less all day, more or less every day for over a week. Initially I saw a week, but as we went through it extended. So there I was looking at a week of storms, and I was in this broken down 1 meter high. You had to really bend down to get in. 1 meter high, tumble down kind of plastic shack. Like a homemade tent really. 6 broom handles, 4 branches bent into 2 arches, and a plastic sheet that couldn't be pulled tight. After that, a bloke called Simon, my friend Simon, bought a second-hand tent for me, which lasted, I think, 4 months before the roof split end to end. But I put tarpaulins over and carried on living in it for another 7 months, maybe. Oh, and Tina ripped all the sides and all the walls. God. She chased a rat one day, and every footstep on this side of the tent was, she was walking through the tent. She was wading. There's another time I'd tied her to a log, which I kind of had to do to stop her chasing people around her. She had to be tied to something, and there's not much to tie her to. So I was tying her to heavy water bottles or to heavy logs. And a friend started to walk down the path inside the field here, down the track. I call it a track, it's actually a riverbed, a dry riverbed, but that's another story. But she went to chase up to the friend, dragging this log behind her, and she ripped the entirety of the length of the tent at kind of floor level. I was really, really happy with her that day. So we've gone through a few iterations. The last tent was superb. That one we got brand new. My friend Karen, the donations, the PayPal donations and contributions from people. My friend Karen was going back to England, and she hello. It was interesting, wasn't it? Anybody there? Can anybody give us a chat just to say back? Back. Jack Attack, stepping out of the shadows. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, folks. Tonight, I haven't checked. Tonight might be my phone renewal, but that would normally go off at midnight. Well, it wouldn't even go off nowadays. It usually just blinks to say that I've received a text. Still frozen or back? Jack Attack can see me. If you can't, I'm going to say reboot, but I can't tell. Not reboot. Refresh. Come out and back in. I'm checking. It says I've got 5G. It says I've got all... Is it 4 bars or 5? I've got the full set, whatever the full set of bars is. Karen says hello. Karen's here. Jack Attack here. Picture is blocky. I wonder what's going on. Moonhawk, hello again. Yeah, we just lost connection there, folks. I don't know what I was even in the middle of saying. I think I was talking about Karen and tents and how helpful everyone's been. But then, while I was looking at the alerts and things just here, I saw what Suzanne did. Suzanne, that's tremendous. I would even say too much. Thank you. I don't know whether you can even see me because... Oh! I don't know if Suzanne can even see me because she says I've frozen. The rest of you are complaining I'm in Minecraft. We've gone potato vision. There's nothing I can do, folks. I mean, I can try stepping out and back in. I don't know why the connection was lost. Minecraft. Evening all. John, I think I'm just going to step out and come back. It's a risk. Back to normal, Karen says. Anyone else confirm? I was about to just leave and come back. I need confirmation that we're back to normal. I need to see whether Suzanne can see me after that donation. Nobody's answering. Not normal, Jack Attack says. Not normal. Moonhawk, it's getting better. What do we think? My telecoms or YouTube? Or just my telecoms, just my phone, or YouTubery? I'm going to step out, folks. I'll step out and try and reconnect. Let's hope we go live. Karen said it was normal. Tom said it was looking good. Others were complaining. Hello, I'm back, hopefully. Just put that down there. Better for everybody, hopefully. Audio good? Has Tina been okay? She's gone quiet on me, which is always a worry. Okay, Suzanne says I'm still a bit blocky. I was just saying, Suzanne, that donation, that's tremendous, but possibly too much. Be careful. But yeah, thank you. The money will definitely go towards Tina's wheels. We're going to turn her into Trollton on the wheelies. We have to find a little old lady on ill. Sorted, okay. Back to normal. Audio's good. Thank you, Jack Attack. Thank you everybody for sticking with me during that. That was a little bit awkward. I probably, when I just stepped out, I probably should have loaded up the Libara app. I'm not sure if it's tonight or next Sunday that my renewal is due. The money's already paid and in their account. There shouldn't be any hiccups unless they do that thing again. Do you remember when they took 50 cents as part of a prize draw, which left me with only $14.50 on account when 15 was supposed to be taken out? And so I lost internet for half an hour. I think, well, that was being figured out. Me and Libara, it's been a love-hate relationship. But yeah, just go back. I don't remember what I was talking about when I was cut off. But the donation will definitely go towards Tina's wheels. Got to get her mobile to some degree. And take the strain off my aging body. When her back legs, when we want to go for a walk, I'm having to limit her. Sometimes she's wanting to go for a longer walk, but she doesn't understand that I'm carrying her back end. And however far we go, we're going to turn around and come back. And she's going to be supporting less and less of her own weight as we come. I do try and make her try and keep her back legs on the ground and actually walking, a walking action, and taking some of her weight. Sometimes she'll just cross her legs and drag them behind her. Tina destroyed the 10th floor level. I'm lost. Where are we going with that one, Jack Attack? Oh, are you talking about when she dragged the log along the edge? She knackered. Oh, okay, that's what I was saying. She knackered the entire length of a tent. Yeah, trying to drag a log behind her to meet a friend. Yeah. It was the wall. It was the outer wall, but it would have been at or just above floor level. And when she ran down the side here chasing a rat, and because the tent had a slope, she used to like to try and lay on the fabric of the tent on the outside, but she'd also back into that corner and try and sit on the fabric from this end. But the time that she chased the rodent, whose name we don't like to say, every footstep was inside. Well, every left leg that went forward was in the fabric of the tent. Yeah, and yet that tent survived that. Let's think. That was the first one. That was the one that was that the one that Simon got. It was. It was so rickety in the end. The videos of these tents when I've taken them down, but it amazes me the damage that they've taken and how long they've carried on being livable to some degree. I mean, if you see them in their final weeks, you might not have called them livable when I'm laying in a pool of water. But that was a very short period. When the tent's wrecked and you carry on living in it for another 7 or 8 months, and yeah, okay, it gets bad in the last 2 weeks. Yeah, I guess. Adam and Mel, good night, and thank you for everything. And maybe we'll chat tomorrow on WhatsApp. Get a few details of what you're up to and where you're going. Well, I mean, you've given me an outline. Your beauty sleep. It's just Adam, is it? Mel's already gone. Okay, mate. Hasta luego. Or hasta mañana. Hasta la próxima. Whichever one you prefer. Look at me with the Spanish. Okay, where was that? I guess I was bringing you through the different tents over time, but I got gobsmacked when I saw Suzanne's donation. Yeah, let me just move back. Did I see everything before it went blocky? I might not have been checking chat enough. So there was John Aldwinkle arriving. John on Merseyside. There was, okay, people were complaining. Some were complaining it was frozen. Some were saying I was back. Okay, let's just work back and see what I've missed. Okay, I think I'm... Yeah. I am as up to date as I think I can be. I might have missed the odd one, but... Okay, Mel's watching still on TV. Okay. How did you go at the quiz, Karen? Did you win? How long ago did you? Yeah, it's fairly recently you said you're going. Night if you don't answer. No worries. But, okay. What time are we on, folks? Coming up for midnight. 25 to 12 my time. 25 to 11 UK. 25 to 6 Eastern in the States. We won, and oh, okay. You won the quiz and the meat raffle. Wow. Excellent. Well done, you. I used to be in a pool team, and we'd always do the meat raffle. Oh, and then there was a Christmas club one in the Owl's Nest. I always, when you win the meat raffle, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Cheers, Suzanne. And a bottle of wine. Oh, God, you're going to be merry. You've got your breakfast sorted for the morning. I've got to keep this. Why does my hand. Why am I so. I'm miles away from the camera and yet I'm. That's ridiculous. Oh, bacon. Don't, make sure you look after yourselves, you guys. You got to. I've still got beef cheek to finish in the morning. I've got my breakfast tomorrow sorted. I've still got, it's not half a pan, but I've still, well, not half the big pan, the cauldron, but there's maybe a couple of pans, a couple of bowls worth of food here from the butchers. Okay. Okay. We'll see. Good night, Karen. See you soon. Okay, folks, the rest of you, what are we going to talk about? Let's sound off in chat. There's I was just going to say there was 9 here. There's 8 here still now. Everybody who's still here, let me know. Oh, got the burpees. Good night. Good night, Karen. I need to trim my beard again. Otherwise I'll be struggling to drink my coffee and having it all dribble down again. Still got that little dark patch there. I thought that had gone dark because of coffee stain. I don't know, it makes my beard look a bit uneven. Okay, Jack Attack's not here. This is a recording. He's away from keyboard. Okay, I'll have to come up with things to talk about. So, I'll talk about the tents still then. So we had that one. So there was my little shack that I built. I do implore everybody to watch my first ever video. It was half of a cookery video. It was half cookery video and half introduction to me and the bad circumstance I was in, and the fact that there was 12 days or so of storms coming in, 10 days. Whatever knowledge I had at that time, it became longer. And this thing was leaking water like a sieve. In the end, there was more duct tape on that first tent than there was tarpaulin. Really was. In the time I made that video, while I made a pan of stew, I was making a 3-day stew at the beginning of the storm, so that I'd got some food for 3 days. And in the time I made that video, there's about a dozen new pinprick holes appeared in the tarpaulin because it was so brittle. So as the wind picked up towards the start of the storm, it was tearing and in fact that first night, because I couldn't pull the tarpaulin taut, couldn't pull it tight over these arches, it kind of sagged a bit in places, and the rain would settle there. So in that first thunderstorm, the rain settled. So I do my first ever video, and before I've released it even, so I did it the one day and I released it the next morning, was kind of the workflow. Before I've even released my first video, my shack is ruined. The rain has gathered in the, because I couldn't pull the tarp tight or taut, the rain couldn't run off. It settled in a concave kind of depression on the roof. And I went like that to put my arm up. So you could do that. Lying on the bed, I could reach the roof. This is how little space I had. So I had been all night, I'd been lifting it up, and the water would splash off over the edge and onto the ground. 5 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of thunder and lightning, I go like that, and my entire forearm just goes through the roof. Not not my palm like that. My entire forearm went through the plastic. So before I've released my first video saying "Hello World," I've already got a fucking yay-sized hole in the roof. So I fix it the next day and record the day while everybody's watching my first video, the introduction to. Um, so yeah, when people say nice spot and that's why you're still there, and when people see how I'm living now with lanterns and eco flows and solar panels and Christmas lights in the bedroom, a TV that I have as a joke, but it does work. I just never use it. Don't have enough power to use it any length of time. TV, electric blanket, uh, electric slow cooker, electric fan, da 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 da, all built up over time. I lived in this field for 3 months nearly, and 2 months in the park before that. Two picnic blankets and a mattress off a sunbed, off a recliner by the pool. It took me a couple of months to find my first tarpaulin, which was 3 meters by two, lots of holes, pinprick size holes mainly, the odd one that was kind of could put your thumb through, and I wrapped my bed inside that. I had the two picnic blankets, which I would take off and dry, go and sit on the benches on the cliff tops that I've talked about lots of times, and dry those off in the morning, either from rain or from dew. They were wet one way or the other every morning. And then we got the tarpaulin, and the tarp would get wet, and usually not the picnic blankets. Or the picnic blankets would only get wet where the specific holes were in that tarp that let that through. That's the tarp that I almost cried about when it got ruined. That was on the south end of this tent. And, well, it was the previous tent, the one that we had until 6 weeks ago. And over time, with the beating of the sun, the ultraviolet, the heat, the whatever else, it got big ribs in it. I won't say I nearly cried, that's overstating it, but I got a little bit emotional, a little bit ponderous, a little bit kind of thoughtful. That was that tarp basically saved my life, allowed me to begin, allowed me to be safe. I built a platform, a bed. I built a bed one Christmas, Christmas into New Year, a platform off the ground because this field flooded twice in my first month, and I built this platform, and I built it. I'm off the ground, let's say about a meter high by the time the mattresses and things are put on. But I'm off the ground. I haven't got a shelter around me. I just got a platform. But my bed is still my bedroll, the two picnic blankets, and this tarp wrapped around the bed, and enough free to pull over mine and the dog's head when we had thunderstorms. And we did. But we were way more exposed. The first night I'd built the platform, suddenly I was visible to cars driving past. I'd been on the floor in the field, and some people who lived here didn't know I was here. People who walked past probably had an idea from me chopping wood and what have you, lighting little fires. But people who drove past, I was below their level. They didn't know I was here. I built this bed, and suddenly they could see I was here. And I'm exposed visibly, but I was also exposed to the wind. And people up at the bus stop on the main road could suddenly see me as well. But this tarp was it was like a mini tent. Riding out a thunderstorm in a bed, and all you've got is a 3 meter by 2 meter tarp, which is just big enough to cover your bed lengthways with a little bit extra, and widthways with a little bit extra to tuck under. I got emotionally attached to a tarpaulin. What is that about? So yeah, I can talk through all these different stages of how I've been here and how it's developed over time. And I can see that newcomers coming in see, ooh, fairy lights, ooh, a lantern, ooh, EcoFlow, solar panel. It's all good. I put myself out there. How would you put it? I'd made myself available to be helped. I rarely directly ask for donations online. I went begging once because somebody else told me it was great and wanted me to do it. I didn't really want to, but I was put in a position where it was I was kind of pressured into it. I gave it a try for one day. It wasn't for me, and I fell out with the other guy. Or put another way, he fell out with me, and to this day I don't know why. That was bizarre. Other homeless people are very 50-50. Joby was great. This other guy, who was Moroccan or Tunisian, there was a bunch of them, but very, they could flip. They could be great all day, and you didn't even know what had upset them, and they wouldn't explain. They're like women. Apologies to the ladies, but you know, you do that thing. If you don't know why, I'm not telling you. You do that. I know you do that. These Moroccans, there was Moroccans, Tunisians, and an Egyptian. They were all like that. If you upset them, they didn't explain what you'd done wrong. You could be in a really heated argument that looks like it's about to go fisticuffs, and you've got no clue what's wrong. Yeah, homeless people. I avoid them typically. I have very little to do with homeless people. I'm actually suspicious of someone who looks like a homeless person, and there are people. There's a spot along this road that seems to attract them. You go along this little track towards the cliffs. The road drops off to the side, and there's a little spot there where they always end up with their sleeping bags or whatever bedding they've got. And you see them, they walk along and they'll go to the garage, which does bread. It's like a little bakery or something. Just donuts and cakes and bread. Also, Starbucks coffee. Um, and you've got these homeless guys going to the garage for their supplies, which has to be like the most expensive way of eating or buying coffee. Jar of coffee in the shop's €3 or thereabouts, and we'll do, is it 100 cups or 200 cups? Um, so 3 cents a cup of coffee if you make it with instant powder and water. And you got these guys buying it a mocha choca knickerbocker at the at the at the Repsol garage. I don't know. I don't understand them. I see people who look like they're homeless. I'll wave, and if they say hello, I'll say hello back. But I don't get involved because of all the usual things that you suspect when you see someone who's homeless. All the things that people suspect me of: drugs, drink, whichever form of psychosis you want to go with. um, all of the above. I've been accused of them all. And I have those same thoughts when I meet someone or see someone who looks like they're homeless. The weird one was when Joby turned up this one day, February a year ago, so 15 months ago, whenever that was. Tina, stop it. So I'm out one Sunday morning. Everything's very wet from dew, I think, possibly rain. It was February, early February, I think. And this guy walks from the main road towards the coast. That's the direction. It turns out he'd actually slept in the field. He looked really, really cold. He slept in the other field, the other side of the road. And he walked past. And I said hello, and he said hello. And oh, English. Yeah, oh, English. Oh. And he looked cold, so we got chatting. And after 5 minutes, I said, "Do you want to come and I'll make a coffee?" At this point, I had a gas barbecue. Again. That was Damien and a friend of his. So Simon that bought me the tent, the first tent, the second-hand one, um, there was an Englishman and an Irishman, sounds like a joke, walking past one day, and Tina started barking at them, and I told them to shut up, and they said, "Oh, English," got talking. So Damien and Simon were really big helps, um, and Damien got me a little camping stove, wind up the survival radio thing, a set of walking shoes. This was back when we could walk because Tina was mobile, and loads of other things. Damien brought me lots and lots of smaller items. And his family sent some money for him and said, "Here's some extra, get him more." Brought me t-shirts and all sorts. Simon did a couple of bigger things, like the tent that he bought second hand for me. Where was I going with that? I was talking about, Damien had a friend who was getting rid of a gas barbecue and a gas bottle. Two gas bottles, actually. One was empty, one was full. But you pay to get the bottle, and then it's less just to refill. You're just paying for the refill then. So he talked his mate into giving me this gas barbecue, which I had for about a year before the police stole it. Fire risk. Gas barbecue. Anyway, I had this gas barbecue. So when Joby was walking past looking all cold, I offered him a cup of coffee. And a little bit later, I think I made him egg sandwiches, egg butties. So that was weird for me to get involved with someone who was homeless, and I helped him set his tent up under a tree the other end of the field, and he was here for 3 months, and then just disappeared without taking his tent. He went out for a walk one day and just didn't come back, and I was most annoyed for quite a while. I assumed it was almost exactly 3 months since he arrived, and I assumed he'd taken off back to England. You get a 3-month visa when you come in, don't you? Maximum 90 days. I assumed he'd taken off and gone back to England and not said goodbye. But what had actually happened is he'd gone for a long walk the other side of Torrevieja and beyond. Can never remember the names of those places. But he'd fallen over and hurt himself. And two guys that were squatting in a place down there, two guys or three guys that were squatting in a place down there, took him in and kind of looked after him for a week or two. And eventually he got a phone that worked. His phone didn't work. His phone worked as like but didn't do internet here. Didn't have a SIM card, and his phone was locked, region locked for the UK or something. Or to one provider. I don't know how that works, but I've always bought mine outright and had them SIM free. You know, you put your own SIM in and no worries. But he had a phone that wouldn't work here, so eventually he made enough money. He's got a little guitar, comes in 2 pieces. He did a bit of busking, made enough money, bought a little phone, and contacted me. Found me on YouTube and we connected via WhatsApp, I think, and he said, "Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't run away on purpose. I went for a long walk, investigating an area. Took most of my things because I was scouting for an area, and in case I needed to stay overnight or whatever. But I injured myself and walked for 2 weeks or whatever it was. So yeah, that really is the only homeless person I think that I have any kind of long-term connection with, and we still connect now. He's just been on a long trail all the way down to the southern coast, past Gibraltar, on the way back up on the other side on the west coast. Got halfway up, and then cut across to Cartagena, and then back up here. And he came around a couple of weeks ago, but someone stole his phone. He came here after it was stolen. Someone inside his own camp. They got a little commune. It's only supposed to be 3 or 4 of them. but a couple of them invited a couple who invited a couple more, and it looks like it's got a bit out of hand. Someone went in his tent, took his phone and his money, and he gave them all an ultimatum. That phone is back in my possession when I come back tonight. It's back in my tent. No questions asked. Or you're all out. And that's the last I've heard of him. That's last week or the week before. He's had a lot of good talking to other homeless people, but he's had grief as well, and they all seem to be on drugs. Everybody. Now some of them it's just marijuana, but it's not all. An awful lot of them. He said a couple of these people that were invited in by people who didn't really have the right to invite others in, a couple of those are full-on crackheads. So you've got this camp that you've like set up. You and a couple of others went off and found your own spot and set up your own little place, and you had rules about how you invite people in, and everyone has to meet them first and agree, and you go off on a little trip for a week or two, and when you come back, the rules have gone out the window, nutters have invited in crackheads, and then your stuff's getting robbed. I'm glad I've just stayed in my little field. I had a lot of trouble from the police, obviously, early on. Well, for 18 months. But they've left me alone now. I've got to look up the date of the last visit. If Jack Attack's still here, he maybe could. Find the last video where I had police on site. It's got to be over a year ago. I put it early April or mid-April. Probably. Not this year, the one before, obviously, a year ago. But I think I would rather have trouble from the police than trouble with druggies. I've never I never smoked even a cigarette. Never smoked a lit cigarette. Never mind. I've never done like edibles, or I've never done marijuana in any form whatsoever. Never done anything. Beer. Mainly beer. The occasional whiskey or brandy, vodka, whatever's offered. But spirits, beer and spirits, beer, wine and spirits. Basically just alcohol. Never done anything beyond that. Like I said, not even cigarettes. But yeah, I don't know, folks. The homeless. I am one, but I avoid them. When he's doing his busking thing, he has to spend 2 or 3 days scouting out whether the place that he wants to sit has got other people busking, begging, whatever. There's one guy plays like this mini plastic bloody didgeridoo. He doesn't really play it, he just blows through it. And people take pity. Some people just beg. But these spots, they spot the, what's the word? The best performing places, and then they fight and argue over them. And then they have a set of rules. Okay, Jack Attack's giving a link there. Is that my last police on site? I can't click it obviously, but anybody else can. You got a date on that one? I know you're away from keyboard really, and you're not there, and it's just a recording. But where was I? Yeah, they have rules about these about these sites where they beg, but also there are gangs of gangsters. Gangs of gangsters? There are gangs, and they tend to be country affiliated, and if you cross them, they will get very, very angry. You got to watch out for the Albanians in particular, apparently. Now, I've never had any involvement in any of this. I know nothing about it. In general, there seems to be a rule that if you haven't turned up at your plot, at your spot, 2 days on the trot, and someone else is there on the third day, then you've lost your spot. There's like this gentlemanly agreement about how it all works. But certain groups aren't going to take any notice of these rules. 4th of July 2023. Really, as late as that? Hold on, 2023? That's not the last time I've had the police on here. Are you showing when I got arrested? Okay, retract. He's mistyped. What's it? 2024, okay. 4th of July. As late as that in the year, was it? So we've got another month nearly. Where are we? 8th, yeah. Oh, where are we date-wise? Are we time-wise? After midnight. Okay. Okay. This is one. My mum is no longer with us. But today would be her birthday, or is her birthday. The 9th of July. Hold on. Let me get this right. The 9th of June. My sister's the 8th of July. I knew it was today, I just said it wrong. Because we're talking July here. You see how the brain gets confused? The 9th of June, 3 days after D-Day. 1944. Yeah. Yeah. Coal miners, my grandparents, protected industry. They weren't even allowed to sign up and go and fight, although a lot of them wanted to. So they were at home, still having babies. Hence my mum. Happy birthday, Mum. With an A. She always preferred it with an A. I went through a phase of being educated and posh, and I would always say mum. And I know the Americans say mom with an O, but hey. But it's not mom. It's not like meeting the Queen. Even meeting the Queen was never meant to be mom. It was never meant to rhyme with farm. It was meant to rhyme with ham. Yes, ma'am. What are you doing out there, Tina? Do I need to come and check on you? Should be right. Where are we for time? We're on an hour and a half. We start at 10:30, so it's just after midnight. I'll go another hour or so, maybe hour, maybe two. I'll have to walk her tonight just to be sure that we don't. I did walk her, but just the way that she's wanting to sit by the door has me worried that, and the way that she was when she was on the bed, all panting, and that could have been the temperature. It was almost 30. It still is. 27 or 28 is that. It's not the clearest, and you have to be funnily alight. It doesn't work head on, straight on. Very specific viewing angle. Might be 26 now. Is it? Has that just dropped while I picked it up? It has. It has. I don't know why that would be. But that's still bloody warm for midnight. I guess this is going to be the first of the tropical nights. I don't think we've had one up to now where the temperature doesn't drop below 20 degrees. I haven't seen an actual forecast, but it wouldn't usually drop 6 degrees between midnight and morning, so it looks like we're going to stay over. Interesting. I don't know whether that's... I think the Spanish have been saying that summer's late arriving. And we had a lot of rain earlier, obviously. If you followed my month of hell playlist, no, sorry, it was a month of hell, but the playlist was called the week of hell. Because when I first saw a week's worth of bad weather, I made a playlist with the videos and named it, and I didn't want to rename it after that. I don't know whether renaming it would have changed the link or not. Depends how well YouTube's programmed. Don't go there. I'm not. Anybody any ideas how well YouTube is programmed? As someone who sat here trying to troubleshoot problems for them, document the problem and make a video of the problems, only for the problems to not get fixed. For anyone who doesn't know, computer programmer, once upon a time, then web designer, then internet security bod. Tina, keep your leg still, darling. You're not scratching. You've got a tickle and your leg moves. You're okay. Tina's okay. Can you hear her? It's like when you used to tickle the belly and you had that one exact spot and the leg would go, and then it became you touch her anywhere and the leg would go, and then that calmed for a while, and now it's kind of sort of back again in a modified way, but she can sit there and have like an itch somewhere, and the leg will. She's not scratching half the time. Sometimes she's obviously, but half the time she's not, and her legs just flapping like in midair and hitting the floor. Or I had a shopping bag out there with some things in, and she was hitting the bag. Like I said, I'm fairly sure this is nerves. It's degenerative. It's the nerves degenerating. The signals, like I said, it should be one little precise tickle spot just to one side of the belly button at the navel, and it should be this one precise spot, and now anywhere is triggering it. It got to the point where I could tickle the top of her head, and her back legs would do that thing, and she couldn't stay stood up. Seemed to get better, seemed to not be a problem for a while, and now just seems to be sparking off again. A nerve signal that should be on one nerve is just travelling out and getting picked up by other nerves, and this is why the back legs aren't working. But as a guy without any money for vets, no firm diagnosis, just my, I don't know what you'd call it. I watched House too many times, maybe. I watched a video, I think Karen sent me a link maybe a couple of weeks ago, showing a dog doing what Tina does, bum shuffling to get out of the house in their case. And the comments, there were 200 different diagnoses. They were, that it's a tick bite. You've got that. It's hip dysplasia. It's this. It's that. Oh, it's degenerative nerves. It's like Parkinson's, or it's like this, or it's like. First 200 comments, 200 different diagnoses. So I guess we all do it. We've all watched House or whatever, and now we all know everything. But I can't get to see a vet without the money. And some of them, even the charities, you have to have the right paperwork. Not the dog, you. You have to be Spanish. The charities, you have to be Spanish. Not just Residencia or whatever. Some of the animals, the Spanish animal charities, Spanish people only. Incredible. The idea that the animal should be most important, that the animal should come first, seems to be lost. There's no equivalent of the PDSA, the People's Dispensary for Sick Animals, that would treat an animal and then either you pay them over a longer term, or it's just a charity, give a donation later kind of thing. Nothing like that. I have people approach me and tell me, but there's charities. There's half a dozen animal charities in your area. Okay then, go make me an appointment. Yeah, because I'm not an idiot. I've looked into it. My own vet, there was a lady that was offering to pay for the vet's visit. I mean, the lady got a bit argumentative and a bit Argumentative is an understatement. She got threatening. She was threatening to take my dog off me in the end. But she tried connecting with the vet and saying she'd pay, and all I had to do was get in touch. I got in touch, no reply, no response. Um, I yeah, for over 3 weeks I was sending emails and leaving messages, and no. I did make phone calls, but we didn't get through. A call wasn't accepted or whatever. I'm not really a phone call kind of guy. I am an email or text or WhatsApp or whatever. Um, I don't. I was running a business. Here's the thing. Running a business when my name was above the door, kind of thing. First name, last name, consultancy, limited. And when people rang, it was like a point of principle that I would be the one answering the phone if I was there, and I usually was. One of the first to arrive, the last to leave, 9 times out of 10, or part of the last group to leave if we left as two or threesome. I had family working, so we could leave together and go home together. But I had this point of principle of being the one to answer the phone, which I didn't mind too much. Returning calls, making calls, I hated. I would be so anxious before making those calls. I would be rehearsing what I'm going to say, the different points I want to make, but not just rehearsing them in a good way. I would be like, I'd be home at night planning what calls I'm going to make tomorrow. This is how much of a thing it was. Yeah, not good on phones. This phone, I don't think I've ever made a call. Well, I'm looking around for my phone. It's there, look. There it is. I don't think. Have I ever made a call? Text on WhatsApp and Messenger. I've sent SMSs, proper real SMSs occasionally. But phone calls. Phone's over here. Yeah, I know, I am that idiot. I was literally looking for it. I had it once. I told you. I lost my phone for 3 hours the other week. That's a bit a while ago now, isn't it? I lost my phone and my tablet at the same time and thought I'd been robbed because I just walked the dog. Phone, it turns out, was in my pocket, and the tablet I'd just put down somewhere stupid while trying to get out of the bedroom. I'd had it in my right hand, gonna go charge it at the EcoFlow when it's out there by the door, and I've had it, and I've had to like push out of bed, and so I've put the tablet down, gone off, the cover, the quilt just kind of folded over it, and I've come back and oh my god, my tablet's not here charging where I was. In my head, it should have been charging. I was going to chat. It's not there, and my phone's not here. 3 fucking hours. And then, do you know what was even worse? Before I stepped in after the dog walk, I'd stood outside and recorded a video on it and then put it in my pocket. It's not like I just put it in my pocket, gone for a dog walk. I've literally got back to the tent and stood outside the door and made a video. And it's when I'm trying to play back in my mind, where could it be? I try and have everything have a place so the shit doesn't happen. I said the other day about only putting my glasses down in one specific location 99% of the time, because then I know where they are. This is another reason why I think maybe early Alzheimer's, because it's like preparation. I'm experiencing this silly forgetfulness. I check the gas when I made a cup of coffee. I turn it off before I pick the water up and pour it into the coffee. And then when I put the empty pan back down, I check the gas again, because one day I will have thought I've turned it off and I won't have. I'm like preparing for senility. But yeah, everything in its place. Everything has a place and everything in its place, as much as possible. But I sat here for 3 hours turning the bedroom upside down and looking at all the other obvious surfaces that I might have put the phone on before stepping outside. Like, have I put it on a charge and it's fallen down the back of the EcoFlow or under the all these crazy kind of ideas? Have I put it on the chair and it's slipped down the covers, the cushions, and is it under there? I, I was turning the place upside down in my pocket all along. And 3 hours later, I'm thinking, hold on, didn't I record a video? Oh, oh, fuck, there it is. And then I'm thinking, oh, well, if I haven't been robbed, then where's the tablet? And that time, I literally was taking layer by layer off the bed, taking all the different quilts and blankets and covers and sheets. Well, there aren't sheets, but whatever. And there it was. I lifted something up and it kind of fell on the floor, and that was that. But for 3 hours, I was absolutely beside myself that I wasn't going to have any communication. Like that nightmare 5 months I had after the floods, where I had nothing. Don't want to talk about that again. That's too depressing. I'm not going to go off on one about the floods and not having even a watch to tell the time. Not having a watch or a clock or a phone or a tablet. No timepiece for 5 months. No light. Oh, don't go there, don't go there. That's depressing. That gets me. Let's not do that one, folks. Somebody talk to me about something nice. Let me scroll back. No, there was Karen leaving. I was there for that. There hasn't been much chat since then. It says that there are 9 people here. Who's not talking to me? Phone's over here. Jackie Tech says it's normal. We'll see, mate. We'll see. I remember being good in pub quizzes. And then I remember not being good in pub quizzes. But being good at giving hints and clues to everybody else. And now I'm giving hints and clues to myself, and I'm not even getting there from the hints and the clues. I don't know. Part of the reason I came to Spain was to enjoy life early. I'm enjoying my pension years without the money, but I'm enjoying those years now. When I do get back home, I'm going to have to work forever until my death. And that's okay. I'll start a business and it'll be something clever and good. As long as I've got my mind, obviously. If I do have any kind of failure up here, then I'll just be a social security case. And I won't be able to claim that for 5 years after I get back. After being out of the country this long, I won't be valid for NHS or social security or pension, any of that welfare stuff for, I think it's 5 years after you get back. Might be 2 or 3. But because I've been out of the country for more than 5 years, yeah. So that'll be fun when I do get back, eh? Good job there's a little bit of money in the bank. Buy myself a 3D printer and a laser cutter and see what I can come up with. Proper printer, computer, whatever. And find an angle, find something that people want, and build again. I've been listening to a lot of War of the Worlds. That whole we'll start all over again. I'm going to download some point soon the 1990s version of War of the Worlds, a TV series. It's like a follow-on. What was he called? Jared something or other. I think I did this the other week. He was the controller in Westworld. He was in the old Westworlds. Whichever one of them he was. He was one of the guys in the control room with a kind of a not an Einstein haircut, but it was like a perm kind of thing. Jared. It's not going to come to me. But one of those Westworld or similar films. What was the one that wasn't Westworld? No, didn't get you, did it? Can't remember. Well, I hope you're all enjoying listening to me, but nobody's talking to me. It says there are 7 of you out there. If you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, and you're in any way kind of entertained or just passing time with me, a thumbs up would be appreciated. Saying hello in chat's always nice. Enjoy a bit of company and someone to bounce ideas and topics off rather than me just rambling about the trials and tribulations of being a homeless idiot. Yeah, I don't know. No more thumbs ups. Oh, there's extra people coming in. Or the count is updating at least. Hello, folks. Hello, hello. Are you regulars? Do you know me already? Do we know each other? Do you prefer to lurk in the shadows, or do you want to say hello in chat? I'm open to it either way. Chat is open. No subscribing is required. Come and talk. Come and talk to a tramp. I've waffled on and wandered all over the place. One remarkable lady gave me a donation, a tremendous donation, towards a set of wheels for my doggy, who has failed back legs. I would show you her and revel in her beauty, but for some reason tonight the bedroom was too warm for her, I think, and she's preferred to slide out of here and go and lay by the back door of the tent, which is a mosquito net. Just a mesh, so there's some breeze there, which it looks like she prefers. So, welcome you new guys that are sneaking in. Future World, that could well, but that was probably was that the first one or the second? There was Future World and Westworld, and then there was Beyond Westworld or something. Then there was a spin-off TV series for a while. Thank you for looking that up or telling me that. Yeah. But Jared, somebody or other, was one of the actors in the control room in one of those films, and then he was the lead scientist in a War of the Worlds, possibly late 80s, maybe early 90s TV series, which didn't reboot it didn't start again with the War of the Worlds thing. They explained away that the Martians caused everybody to forget, and maybe governments cover up. And then they carried on where the Martians are either back or they were here in hibernation and were coming out and trying to cause trouble. And the logo for it was like 3 fingers wrapped around a globe, because the Martians, everything was 3s. 3 fingers. Their council of leaders or whatever was 3. Jared Martin, there you go. Yeah. I read it. I got it. Jared Martin, that was him. So if you Jared Martin on War of the Worlds, you'll find a TV series. I'm going to go download that again and watch that again, because it was trashy. It wasn't great, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. And it was always on at it was always on late at night. 2 seasons, is that all? But it was probably on an obscure channel like Channel 4 or Channel 5, late at night, like 1 in the morning or something. Almost as bad as Lex with a double X, was it? That was bizarre in its own right. But I'm downloading War of the Worlds and having another watch of that. Despite me being halfway through 4 other series of things at the minute and not really getting on with it. I'll try and recount. I've got what's he called, the big guy, Reacher. I'm halfway through season 3? Whatever the current or most recent season of Reacher was, I'm halfway through that, which means I'm 3 episodes in, because there's only 6 or 7 of them. I'm 10 episodes into Person of Interest. What was there? 5 seasons each of about 30 episodes, and I'm on episode 10, so that's good. I downloaded that one last. Was it called Station 11? Where 11 is the word. The Station 11. I'm 3. I don't even know if I've watched the 3rd episode of that one. It is a one-off season. There's only one series. It's a one-off series. There's only one season. That was a done and dusted. But I'm only 3 episodes in. What else did I download? I downloaded the entirety of Rent-A-Ghost. I don't know how far I got with that. I backed that up onto a pen drive at some point. But I've got loads of others. I've got all the Frankie Howard films. Up Pompeii, up the Chastity Belt, up the front. I can't remember the order of them, but I've got those downloaded and haven't watched. I've got so much downloaded, and I sit here just watching YouTube all day. Well, when I don't sit here all day. I lay here half of it. But no, when I am watching something, I can't tear myself away from YouTube. It's almost like an addiction. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in an absolute Asmongold loop at the minute. Asmongold and Tectone. Japan Eats and Future Canoe on the cookery front. Japan Eats and Future Canoe. There are a couple of other food podcasty things. So You Want to Get Fat podcast I watch. A few prepper channels I talked earlier about. I think in the other TrampCast proper, I talked about UK. What's he called? UK Urban Prepper. A bloke called Mike, who gave me a shout out a few days ago. So I gave him a shout out. I think it was Tim Timoney earlier was asking about the big guy that was trying to lose weight, which was a blog, Uncle Paul Persists. I promoted him a week ago, maybe 2. I think that's what he was talking about when he was asking about a big guy losing weight. He might have been talking about Big Clive, but I don't think so. I think he was talking about Uncle Paul Persists, who has lost an incredible 90 pounds since January the 1st. Despite the odd setback and going the wrong direction 7 pounds in 1 week, he's got back on top of it and got down again. And in a month or so, he's gone on a big hike. So he's off like exercising like a good one, trying to overcome certain physical issues, heart problems basically. But if he keeps losing 5, 6, 7 pounds a week for the next 2 or 3 weeks, he'll get below 350, down from 450 or thereabouts when he started. That's incredible. Apparently he's done this in the past though, lost a lot and then regained it, as a lot of yo-yo dieters do. So I hope he can stick with that. But these are what are captivating me at the minute on YouTube. Well, there's a lot of things because I have so much time to kill. I love my nighttime viewing. Daytime, I'm just looking for anything just to keep going. Nighttime, I tend to have some specific things to watch. Daytime, it's just whatever pops up in the feed, whatever comes up next. Just trying to keep out of the heat. Tina, stop it, darling. Stop, or I'll come and tickle. Tickle. And you're sticking your nose under. Hello, babe. Hello, you. You coming back on the bed? Tina, come back up. I've got to get my girl, I think. Hold on. Hey, babe. Come back up. Come to daddy. Come on, I'll give you a hand up. If that's what you want. You coming back? Oh, come on, babe. Come on. Oh, let me get. I got you. Here we go, babe. Here we go. Oh. Okay, that's an unusual. No, you can't lie like that, darling. That's a bit inappropriate. That looks like we're doing something rude. Oh, steady, Tina, move a little bit, darling. Move. Okay, I didn't mean like go entirely away from me. You don't have to go out of the bedroom. Oh, okay, folks. The girl's here. Oh, now my pillow's gonna kill my back. Hold on. Oh, bit of lumbar support, please. Okay, shall we do this? Here she is. Hold on. Back on the bed. Oi, there she is. Hello, babe. Hello, you. Hello, you. Feet again for those that are interested. Fucking weirdos. Okay. Where was I? I just had to manhandle her onto the bed, grab her by the collar, bring her so far up, and then grab that belt that's around her waist and pick her up. And she landed where she shouldn't. And there she is anyway. Jack Attack was just laughing at something. What was that? Was that now or earlier? War of the Worlds. Try your hand at picture framing. Oh, now you're assuming that I'm physically practical. I don't even know how picture framing is done. I don't even know what that is. I'm good with my computers, so stuff that I can program in or just drop files in and set machines whizzing away. If I can take a photograph and scan it in or photograph, get it into a computer and then carve that image onto a slab of slate such that someone can see a picture of their dead dog kind of thing, some kind of or business names carved into chopping boards or something. Tina, settle down, sweetie. Pick a place. Where are you going and why? What are you doing? I know you can't move around easily, but I'll help if you need it. You know that. Yeah, 3D printing, laser engraving, laser cutting, whatever you want to call it. I even looked at those vinyl cutters, stroke printers. That I was interested in that. Or dye, what's it called? Dye sublimation onto cups and glasses and things. That kind of thing where I can use my computeriness, but not necessarily be particularly practical, like with hammer and nails, or I don't even know what's involved with other stuff. Who knows? Give me a keyboard. Whoa, I'm hand in front of the feet. Yeah. Fucking weirdos, I know. But you get it, don't you? A lot of the females get it. The female streamers and stuff. People like Anna, that Star Wars girl. She takes a shot of something or wants to show something, and her feet accidentally getting shot, and people go crazy and start offering her money for a proper photograph of her shoes and stuff, and then her pictures, her feet start appearing on kinky websites and stuff. Tina, what are we panting at, girl? You're all uncertain and nervous again. Is it the cars? Is it the people shouting? People on the road? You need a drink of water? No? Water? No? Walkies? You need walkies? No, you're not giving me an obvious signal of anything, darling. You're just puffing and panting for no reason, and I don't know why. It's really quite disconcerting. And then you won't settle down and be still. What am I meant to do? Take you for walkies every 2 hours? No. Settle down and be a good girl. There you go. I'll take you for walkies when we finish here, when we stop talking to the peoples. When we stop talking to the peoples, we'll go for a quick walkies to see if that's what you need. You got to hold on until then. I don't even think that's what you need. Dog. The arrow's there saying that there's more, but there's no more. That's annoying. Okay, am I... Cheers, big ears. I don't know. Who's out there? Look, there's only me and Suzanne and Jack. I think John Aldwinkle's still in the background there. I think he's still here. Jack Attack says cheers, but yeah, okay, mate. Cheers right back at you. What topics? We need topics, folks. Anybody got anything sciencey? I half saw something earlier, but didn't have time to look into it. I've done a few topics recently about eye repair via proteins, and I think one was from injections, one was from a device implanted, not implanted with the proteins, but releasing, but building the proteins within the eye, a little device that creates protein that suppresses the immune system to stop it from doing, it wasn't macular degeneration, but it was similar. It turns out that animals other than mammals have a repair mechanism, but mammals don't have it. And so they're trying to introduce it to people through a tiny, tiny implant in the eye. But I saw one today that was about restoring vision with a nano scale wire in the eye. That's, I only saw the headline. I didn't see any of the actual article. I only had, what did I have after we got off the earlier TrampCast? I have an hour and a half or 2 hours. I'm not sure. Tina girl. Tina! You're putting weight on the fucking door. That's the bedroom door that you're trampling on. Stop it. You can't do that. You'll break the zip. So far, we have incurred 0 damage in the tent in the 6 weeks. But Tina seems determined to bring that to an end. There's the fabric of the tent there, and she's got a paw on it, and she's pressing it down. So she's pulling it's the bedroom, not the tent, but the inner lining, the bedroom. But she's pulling down, and there's a zip along the top. Well, along the top, down the side, and under, along the bottom. But I'm not letting you damage the tent, darling. Sorry if I was a bit physical pulling you around, but lay down and go see, please. That's it. You're tired. You're tired. Go see, please. Go on. I'll give you a cuddle and you go see, please. Go. See you see. Tickle your nose and between the eyes. Yeah. Go on. Relax your breathing. Slow your breathing. Don't be panting. Slow your breathing. Take that paw off that wall again. Otherwise I'm going to get angry. Go see, please. You're tired. You're very, very tired. I can see it. You're going to... If you stop the panicking about and jumping about, you'll be asleep in 5 minutes. Go see, please. Go on. Go on. Can you see? She will be asleep in a few minutes, hopefully. She will stop interrupting us. No idea where I was. Was I just talking about her damaging the tent? Where was I before that? No. These TrampCast Hangouts are supposed to have a slight element of structure. Oh, the water. Okay. Oh, Jack Attack's gone off and looked into the article that I was talking about. He does this. He's my personal fact checker. He corrects me. Is that Farmer stepping back in? Okay. Researchers have developed a retinal prosthesis made of tellurium nanowires that restores partial vision in blind mice and enables near-infrared vision in primates. Why do we want that? Do we want infrared? Do I want to sit here looking out and being able to see the rats in the hedge? Is that what I want? I'm not sure that's what I want. But that's what you're going to get. Will it make the eyes glow red? Do we become Terminator? Did I finish reading the infrared vision primates? Okay. The implant woven into a lattice of light-sensitive nanowires converts both visible and near-infrared light into electrical signals for the brain. There you go. Hey, Format. It's nice to have people stepping back into the chat. It was going to be quiet around here, but yeah, that I saw the kind of the headline, but not the. I didn't have time to get to it. But it's just interesting that that we're seeing so many developments in medical technology devices and sometimes just injections and things to do with improving the eye. Some of them are for improving, some of them are just stopping deterioration. But I think it's fantastic. As long as it's not all just like media, not media bullshit, but you get a lot of scientific papers where you get the magazine headline or the newspaper headline based on a press release, that's exaggerated from a paper that's more understated and that hasn't been peer reviewed yet. You got to be a bit wary. It's like I joked with Big Clive the other week. There are some like perennial stories. There are some stories that are in these magazines every week. The battery that's going to be 10 times better than any battery we've ever seen. And I saw an argument for that dismantled the other day. A certain reaction is 10 times better than any other reaction, but it's going to take twice as much space. And then there's a certain vibration or movement or something within the cells, and you have to build in some extra dampening between these things. And then there's the possibility of this or the possibility of that. And in the end, rather than being 10 times as much power from the same mass, you're having to expand the mass double or triple or even fivefold they're talking about, and you'll just never get that. So you might get 2x in the end, maybe, if it works out in 10 years' time. That theoretical 10 times that was based on one factor can never happen because of other things that have to be built in. I'm trying to remember it was Hank's channel that dismantled it. Do we know Hank's channel? Hank had cancer a while back and everyone was following him and following his journey. He was covering a lot of the science of his own situation. But he's a great science communicator, science and technology, I guess. But going back to my point, there are some perennial stories. Solar panels that are 1,000 times more efficient, which is absurd and can never be possible. Solar panels are already 30% efficient. You can get 3x that, 90. Theoretically, you could hit 100% maybe. So 3.5 times current. You see a headline about something being 1,000 times better. It's just... But the perovskites are in the news every week in the tech news. It's a certain kind of fucking lattice work of chemical where you can put some other element inside the structure, inside the lattice work, changes properties. They build these fantastic, you can basically 2D print solar panels, and that's marvelous, except they last about an hour and a half. I think the last I heard, they got some that lasted a week but were less efficient than what we already have. So trying to extend the life of this, lots of headlines all the time about these things that are coming. but they don't get there. 10 years later, we're still working on them. It's like buckyballs and carbon nanotubes. There's always something. Graphene. Graphene was the great savior. How long ago now? 20 years ago. You got your graphene rope yet? Can you build a... Have you got your space elevator based off your graphene rope? Because I haven't seen anything about it. But these stories are always out there. I'm a Terminator, that's why I tasted iron. No, you can taste iron in certain meats. If you eat liver, you definitely, they're chock full of iron. You can smell the iron. When I cut myself, which I frequently do because I live in a field with lots of prickly bushes, I can smell the iron on my blood. And if I do the suck the cut or lick the cut thing, I can taste the iron because my body needs it. I'm low on it, I think, so I'm sensitive to it. Oh no, what we got here? Something about Jack's dad jokes. Okay. Okay, Buckyballs, Mike. All right, first question. Who's Bucky? Obviously, Bucky O'Hare, captain of the Righteous Indignation. He's going to croak us some toad. Kids cartoon, I don't know if you get the reference. I don't know if you know Bucky O'Hare. That's not who Bucky is as in Buckyballs. That was an architect called Buckminster Fuller who designed a geodesic dome. Scientists were looking, they were trying to come up with what shape carbon-60 would be if it existed. And they were looking at how you could take this thing and what shape it would be. And it was puzzling them for ages and ages. How are you going to put together hexagonal, you've got these carbon atoms with 6 bonds or that form rings of 6 atoms, however it is that it works. How are you going to make a shape out of these hexagonal joints and it doesn't all match up and you need some other shape in between? And one of the scientists that was researching the shape that this would be attended a conference or exhibition somewhere, Canada, I think, maybe. And there was this, I don't know whether it was a full dome or just the top half of, whether it was a full ball sphere or whether it was the top half like a dome. But there was this statue, this shape. And basically, if you look at a soccer ball, it's made out of hexagons and pentagons tessellated together. Good word, tessellated, I like it. And he saw it and he went, oh my fucking God. And so the idea that carbon-60 would be this soccer ball shape, suddenly they'd cracked it, they'd got the idea. They didn't name the thing after the scientists, they named it after the architect that came up with the geodesic dome. So that's who Bucky is. Buckminster Fuller, and carbon-60 and its derivatives are called fullerenes as a result. The idea that you've got this ball, and if you can open up 2 ends and not have the chemicals there, not have the bonds or whatever, and you could string these open-ended balls together, you get a tube, carbon nanotube, and stronger than steel per, by weight kind of thing, or by whatever, by mass. Tina, the fuck are you doing, girl? Come here and be cuddled. Come on, come up here. Yeah, I've got you. Come and say hello. Hand in front of the camera. Come and say hello to the peoples. Can they see you? Can they see me and my girl cuddling? Here we go, darling. You want something, don't you? And you're not able to let me know what you need. And I thought it was that you needed a walk, but we did that before we came live. We did a walkies. Is it walkies that you need? Or is it a drink of water? Is it water? Food? Not food. Not water. Not walkies. What then? I don't know what you need, sweetheart. You got to let me. You come up here and you're all cuddly, and it means you need something. I just don't know what. You got to communicate better to Daddy. Come on, me and my girl. You got to tell me what you need. I don't know, folks. Any ideas? I could try taking her for a walk again, but I don't think that's it. She might just be too hot. Are you too hot again? You have to go and lay next to the door again. I don't think you do because you came back in. Your head is hot. But then so's mine. What are you going to do? I'm puzzled. Anyway, I was ranting about Buckminster Fuller and who Bucky is. But I also talked about Bucky O'Hare. It's a joke. Buckminster's. To book something, is that where you're going? Like to ride? Like when one sheep tups another, I don't know. Is a male badger a buck? Male deers? No. What's a buck? Male horse? Probably all sorts. Okay, he went in depth on graphene and 60 and he knows it already because they're more intelligent than me, these guys. Tina's like, what the fuck, you still up, Mike? Oh, it's early yet, isn't it? It's only 1 o'clock-ish. Josie's back again. Hello, Josie. Hello, hello. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with Tina. I don't know what it is. I think she's just hot. Like I said, she was doing this before I came live. I was worried, so I took her for a quick walk. Nothing. We just turned around. We went for a long walk. She dragged me way off. And I was like, why are we doing this? What, is this a pee? Is this a poo? What is it? And she wanted to carry on walking. And I'm like, Tina, I've got to carry you back. I can't, we can't go too much further. My arm and shoulder were aching. So we turned around and came back. She didn't do anything the entire walk. Now, it's not like going miles. It's 150 meters that way and 150 meters back. But, okay, babe. Try and calm down and cool down, eh? Oh, I could plug the fan in, couldn't I? Oh, will it reach where the EcoFlow is? Do you think that's worth a try? No, because you guys won't be able to hear anything. That'll ruin. Maybe after we're finished here, I'll try the fan. Is there more conversation that I'm missing? Here's Josie. Yeah, okay. Okay, you've read upon it because of graphene. I remember it happening. I remember it. I'm going to say I was at uni, so somewhere between 94 and 98. But it was early. I was reading New Scientist in the library every week. I'm going to go 94 that they were all talking about it, and it was going to be the biggest thing ever. How long ago was that now? 30 years ago. And it's making some things are using it. I think hard drives started using something related, or at least getting the size of the magnetic bits smaller through some kind of nano coverings. So you don't have to magnetize a grid this big to count as a bit. You can go smaller and smaller. There was something like that. I don't remember exactly, but aim the fan here, yeah. Oh, aim the fan at her. It moves and it makes a lot of noise. It would distort the microphone and everything out. But I will do it after we go offline. Better she cools off now. It's a theory. It's not. We don't know that that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. You mean Mike has a degree? He does indeed. Business. It's a business degree. It's worth shit. It's good for nothing. It never got me a job. Don't think I'm trying. I always try and think back to, is there a technique or a bit of knowledge? Is there something I learned during that 4-year degree that I didn't know already at the start? And I struggle. I did it like I did modules that were accounting related, but it was just accounting is just addition and subtraction. I mean, there's a bit of multiplication for compound interest and depreciated values and stuff. There's nothing there. Accounting is weird in that they just have weird rules about what you should add and when you should add. A lot of it made no sense to me in terms of balance sheets and stuff. But addition, subtraction, multiplication, powers, I guess. Compounding isn't just multiplication. It's you're doing something to the power of something, but it's the same. That's just repeated multiplication, isn't it, to the power? Tina girl, let's calm down, sweetie. Let's calm down. Yeah, I know, but you're making a lot of noise, darling. Suzanne's got to go. Catch up with you again soon. Okay, hope so, Susan. And thank you very, very much. Thank you. That was tremendous. Put the fan on and see how bad it gets. Might not be that bad. Yeah, I'm just wondering whether the cable will even reach. I can go grab it and give it a try. Maybe I could move the EcoFlow to the bottom of the bed. There'll be all sorts of damage and destruction along the way. Let me give it a try. Tina, stay. Let me do this, darling. Let me try this for you. Give me a minute, folks. Oh, Tina, stay. I'm gonna get the fan for you. Oh. Oh, where's that light gone? What did I do with it? Oh, come on, you clown. Oh, here. I got it. I brought it through there in case it was needed. Well, let's go here. We'll open this up. For Tina girl. And hope that there are no moths in here, right? Oh, that's as far as that opens. So we'll have to put this over this side after I get on the bed. Wait. Just wait, darling. Stay there. Tina, stay. I'm doing this for you, sweetie. Wait. Stay here. Stay. Oh, look how shy it is. That's so close. But if I pull that forward, that's going to be unstable. The EcoFlow is going to fall off its perch. It's on a bin lid that's like a dome. Oh, we'll balance it and see. Hope for the best. And no. Turn that on. And what I'll do is I'll lock it in place when it gets back around. Tina, wait. Wait, darling. When it gets back around to Tina, somewhere there, lock it by pulling. Okay, not pushing. Pulling. There you go, darling. That's for Tina. See how that goes? Okay, put that back there. Oh! How bad's that, guys? For noise. It's on the microphone, isn't it? If I move my hand away. Is that Josie heading off? Or saying goodnight to someone else? Are they going to make those wheels for her? We're gonna buy a set, a harness and what have you. Yeah. Yeah, Suzanne headed out. I don't know if Josie's heading out or if she was saying goodnight to Suzanne. The books, or however you pronounce it. I'm lost. What's everyone talking about? Is the fan making things not sound right? Oh, I'm lost. You guys are away. Either no noise or very little. Okay, hardly notice it. I think it's probably on a medium setting. There's probably a lower setting I can go with. I think Tina's happily perched under it. Or she's trying to sneak off to the floor and to the... I've had to open the bedroom door up. There's no room for the fan inside the bedroom. I've opened that door up and the external door is just to the right outside the bedroom. How much are Tina's wheels? How long's a piece of string? There's a lot of variation depending on the size of the dog, the quality of the build of the harness and everything. I saw one the other day. I think it was about 150 euros, but everybody who bought it was complaining that the dog can't go to the toilet once they're in it. That the support harness was in the way of everything they needed to do. So they were having to cut holes or cut the edges of the harness so the dog could be comfortable out and about. The only other alternative is to walk your dog first yourself, like carry them and let them do the toileting, then put them on the harness and hope that they don't need to go while you're out. That's no good. You need something that's properly shaped and researched and set up properly. So I'm still looking at options and where we go with it. But it's difficult to know what the final price point will be to find something. I need the confidence that it's not going to fall apart in no time. There's the other thing. They're going to arrive flat pack and you've got to assemble them yourself. Well, which screwdrivers and what screwdrivers? And I've got one tiny little flat head, and I've currently got a set of crosshead or Phillips or whatever you want to call them. There's slight differences in some of those names, but the X-shaped ones. I got a set of those that I've borrowed from someone at the minute, but those will have to go back in the next day or three. So what tools you need, whether I'm capable of building it, whether I know anybody who can help who's capable of building it, don't know. I saw somebody gave me, not a quote, but somebody said that they'd seen a specific brand that was good at 200 euros. I rather not go that high. So the big question is, how long is it for? Without being nasty to my girl. It's okay, babe. Without being nasty, Daddy's just wondering how long you've got left. I know, big question. Do you spend hundreds and hundreds and have it be a few weeks? I don't know. So yeah, we're definitely going to get them. I'm still saving up for them, and I got a good donation tonight from Suzanne, the lady who just stepped out, with this strange name that I can't remember. Was it something like Lebuix or something? Hibuix 62, Hibuix, I don't know. But yeah, no, we're working on the Tina thing, Hot Rod Tina, that's right. Once she's powered up, see, that's the other thing. Some of these things are built to assist your dog while their legs are still on the ground and to help them recover from an injury. That's not her. It's not going to recover, it's not going to get better. It needs a harness that her legs go into and that keeps stable off the ground. But the harness needs to be out of the way for it to do what she needs to do. Yeah, she's a girl, but yeah, I get where you're going. Um, Cut holes for peeing and pooing. It's the two, isn't it? But that needs to be taken into account by the people that build it. Really, you buy based on the size of the dog. I mean, there must be a fairly standard um, arrangement. Look, I'll make it on a 3D printer. There you go. Um, it's the whole thing, though. It's having. I've got to look for the whole mechanism, the framework, the harness that that goes on her body, the thing that supports her legs, and then the wheels on the ground. And again, the wheels have to be suitable for rough terrain. We live in a field down a track. Um, So it's not just like office wheels, you know what I mean? It's not. Casters was the word I was looking for when I was talking about this previously. The little wheels you get on the bottom of an office chair, on the bottom of a TV cabinet or something. Casters are no good. These need to be good, rugged wheels. I think that's where, I think it was Jack Attack, was it, that went off about Big Truck or whatever it was called. Um, Yeah, I got to go up and look the specifics of these words after. Bigfoot. Okay, yeah. Um, but yeah, it looks like it's quite complicated to get the sizing right, and then you got to get the harness right, and then I need the wheels to be right, and then I've got to construct it. Can anybody see any problems with this? My wife used to say I'm only allowed to use a screwdriver inside a computer case. Not on electric sockets, not anywhere near a car or anything in the house or household electrics. If it was inside a computer case, I was allowed. Outside, don't touch. I don't know why she was so paranoid. I never did anything wrong. Um, but then I guess people didn't let me. The father-in-law was always called around for anything real. Put that out of the way. Oh, there is my bag is in reach. Where are we, folks? Where are we? 1:10, 9 of us here. What we got? 3 in chat plus me. Is that all that's talking? I think John was still here, wasn't he? He's quiet in the background. But whenever I say is John still here, he will crop up with something after. So there's maybe 4 of you in chat. Me talking. And there's 5 others hiding, maybe? Soft serve machine in your kitchen. Are we talking ice cream? Ice creams and gelatos. I don't really know the difference, but there you go. Or you've got froyo. That's a that side of the pond thing. I can't Google it, but the others can. If I do anything Google, if I go anywhere off the screen, I leave the chat. It hangs and goes bad. But I can guess that we're talking about pee-pee in one way or the other. I don't know whether it's girl or boy. Maybe it's unisex. Ah, warm beer. Someone remind me tomorrow. I've got to wet the towel and wrap some cans of beer in there for tomorrow night. Just 2 or 3, maybe. Well, I've got them. Topics, folks. Topics. What's got a topic? What's got a hazelnut in every bite? Either topic or squirrel shit. Okay. Yeah, this is the thing. You got to, yeah. finding a doggy wheelchair design and everything. Also, I mean, the main part, the dog's 30 kilograms. You need the main structure to be metal. I would say you need some metal tubing, wheels at the bottom. So you have the two of them. They come along, and they need a harness, something around the shoulders or the chest, and then something in front of the waist, something at the waist. You might need something to go around the legs to suspend her legs up and off the ground, but you don't want to be blocking too much in between the legs. Itchy eye. If you try looking on Amazon at the general design of them, you get an idea. But trying to find the specifics, like my browser defaults to Amazon.es, Amazon Spain. But a lot of the write-ups are in English, but they're in Chinglish. They're in, they've been made by Chinese companies or whatever. Or maybe by Spanish people just doing bad translations. But the sizes that they offer don't seem to match the sizing charts that they give. I looked at one the other day, and it gave 3 measurements when you were looking at buying it, but its measuring chart listed A, B, and F, which weren't on the picture of the dog, or 2 of them weren't. Who lists things as A, B, and F? What happened to C, D, and E? That fan just seemed to have calmed her down. Either that, or she's just trying to sneak away towards the door. But I think it's calmed her. I'm on the verge of being cold. I might have to get in under the blankets, under the duvets. You okay now, Tina? Are you okay now? Can I slow it down a bit, darling? If you're okay, can I slow that down? Let me see. Because that'll help in 2 ways. I'll stop being cold. I'll stop being cold, and it'll make less noise. You do feel a bit cooler now. Are you okay? Lay down nice and go sleep, please. Go to sleep. Sleep, Tina. Lay down. Oh. Lay down and go to sleep, babe. What have I done here? Ouch. I've got all the covers, ruffled up in a really awkward manner under my back. Make yourself some coffee. I'd have to go out and boil water for 10 minutes. Not at this time of night. And leave Tina unattended for 10 minutes while she's trying to do whatever she's... Tina, that's the lights that you're tangling with, darling. Come here. There's a reason I pulled you away from those lights in the first place, if you remember. Come on. Come and cuddle Daddy. Come here. Come up here. Come here now, look. Come on. Come here. Up you come. Here you come. You want me to pull by the... I'll get you by this end, look. Oh, where you going? Where do you want to be? Come here. What you got? What you doing? You're on the sniff after something and there's nothing there. There's nothing there, babe. There better not be anyway. What have you found? Is that my jumper? I haven't worn that in weeks. I don't know what's going on. Is my light getting dimmer? It's not plugged in. Let me see, what have I got USB going on here? You're USB and you're doing nothing. I think my light's losing power. Yeah, it's on full brightness, isn't it? And it was doing nothing. Tina, you are starting to annoy me now, darling. Find a spot and stick to it. Sorry, folks. Dog in the... Oh, okay, that's the empty knocked over. Now we want the light to not fall over. Don't want the light attacking the beer again. Tina girl, you just settled... No, I'm there. You can't be in the same space as me. What the fuck are you doing? It doesn't work like that. You don't get to push me out of my own bed. Hell are you doing, girl? Come on. Settle down. I don't know what you're wanting from me at the minute, darling. Oh, dog. I love her, but she can be frustrating. I wondered about bathroom. I took her. She was misbehaving before the stream started, and I took her out, and we went on a really long walk, 150 meters that way, 150 meters back. We were almost to the cliff tops. Maybe not quite 150, 100, 125 maybe. But nothing. She didn't pee. She didn't poo. Just nothing. I'm going to take her out as soon as we finish here, guys. Well, maybe, what do you think? Another 13 minutes or so to 1/2 on the clock or 3 hours on the timer on screen. I quite fancied doing a little bit more myself, but she is just annoying me. Okay, babe. We'll sort you one way or the other. We'll find out what it is you need. Whether it's water, whether it's a cuddle. Is it just a cuddle you need? You're nice and cool now, aren't you? Away from the fan. Eh? Are you too cold now? Is that what you just? Is that why you've just moved? Maybe if I turn the fan off. Let's have a go. The fan only uses like 20 watts on its lowest setting, but there's a 30-watt overhead for having the inverter on. So it's quite a high draw overall, but we can afford it for my girl. And as soon as the sun comes out tomorrow, we'll be back up to 100% within an hour or so. Hold on, I think I missed something. There's some ha-has going on. Am I cold because I'm tired? No, just the fan blowing over us. Make yourself coffee. Was that to stay warm? Hot coffee. I think maybe that's where you were going. No, I've been up at what time did I say? Being up at like 1:20 is not a problem. We're always I'm always up. I'm a night owl. Ordinarily, when my sleep pattern's in what I think is ideal, I'll be awake until 3 or 4 in the morning. Then grab a few hours, wake up somewhere between 6 and 8 at random, if nothing else wakes me specifically. Hey, doggy. And then I'll grab an hour or two somewhere through the day, in late afternoon maybe, sometimes mid-morning. Sausage roll, hello. How are you doing, my friend? Sausage roll. Remind me, real name. Hold on. No, it's not that. You're not a Chris or a Paul, are you? We do have a real name for you somewhere. I don't remember where you are either. Liam, where are you, Liam? I will make notes of these one day. Norfolk, okay. Beautiful. As somebody used to say. He's no longer with us, is he? Bernard Matthews. He's no longer with us. Probably died 25 or 30 years ago, I've no idea. You're off to Stafford. What's in Stafford? Beautiful Norfolk, yeah, with the turkeys. Bernard Matthews and his turkey farm. He'll be there for the next week working. Can we ask what you do? Have you told us already and it's just my bad memory? That's entirely possible. Oh, look at this. The numbers are shooting up. 11 of us are here now. Folks, consider it. Hey, maybe? Possibly? If the dog will settle and let me, I think she's doing. I think she's going to sleep. Hey, babe, you cuddling your dad. You cuddling your daddy. You were too warm, then the fan made you too cold, and now you're cuddling me for some body heat, aren't you? Yeah? Settle down and go to sleep. There you go. Okay. To go to sleep, you have to lay crossways across the bed, don't you? Of course you do. You are Tina. If there's a way to be awkward, you'll find it. If there's a way to do death and destruction, you'll find it. Although 6 weeks in and she hasn't. Well, okay. I've got like a casserole dish, the bottom half, no lid, no top. I got that, and inside that I've got some other dishes and pots and pans. Um, they're supposed to be going into this big plastic box that I've got. I think you call them a tote. It's a little bit full with other things. So it's just been sat on the side on the top of this other box. And she's nudged it and poured at it and nudged it. It fell off. And I thought, well, okay, it's near enough and it can't go anywhere now. No. She pours it and nudges it. It goes under the bedroom. So you're in a tent, which is its own envelope, and the inner bedroom is a separate. And I was standing on something. Was it last night or the night before? And I was, what the hell is that? And she's pushed all of these pots and pans, kind of thing, under the and a Tupperware as well, kind of under the bedroom. And now I've retrieved them and put them back on top, and she's like nudging them and smacking them again with her paws. I got no clue. Dog. But approximately 6 weeks, I think, and no damage to the tent in any way. The last time it was 2 weeks until she put a paw and smashed the mosquito net. 2 weeks. Hold on, let me scroll back. Oh, flavors, that's right, I remember. I do remember, my friend, I do remember. I just needed my memory jogging. When you say do flavors, are you mixing them and creating them, or are you sniffing them? Are you the nose of Sherlock Holmes? Are you tasting, sniffing, or creating? Where are you? Are you eating pedigree chum, as they say at eating dog food? They call it at Microsoft, don't they? Because was it Mars and pedigree chum are. Oh, don't be sending me. No. Keep your money, my friend. Don't be sending me money too frequently. You've had another article published. Is this a scientific paper or article in a magazine about scientific stuff? Or just a hobby, a sideline? I've probably asked this before, but you create the flavors. Specifically flavors with tastes, not smells. No, you're not a perfumier. You write for a local magazine. Oh, you should keep the money from your sideline, my friend. Don't be. I'll only waste it on dogs and beer. Dog harnesses. That's not wasted, is it, darling? We are saving up for dog harness. You keep settling down as if you're going to sleep, and then you get back up again. Talk to me. Yeah, look. I'm stroking her back and her legs kicking. It used to be one very, very specific tickle spot, and now it's everywhere. Those nerve signals, darling. Those nerve signals are leaking out, aren't they? Something to do with the myelin sheath. We could be looking at what? Like a, what's it called? No, not going to get it. Knew a guy with it. Still can't put my finger on the name of it. Ugh. Jack Attack will fact check me. Myelin sheath deterioration around nerves leads to a disease that's just go. You decline until eventually, I believe your heart stops working because the signals are getting confused. Can't get that. I can't get that. That's not wasting it. No, not on a dog. You wouldn't be wasting it. No. I was being a bit flippant, but I. A handful of hair. She is and always has been a very. She molts all year round. There's no molting season. Whole handful. I haven't brushed her for a few days, so I'm just stroking her. I just get a handful of hair. What am I gonna do with it? Fuck. How can I reach this bin? I got this bin here. I brought a bag specifically. I brought it for beer cans, didn't I? Let me put this one away now that I've got that in reach. I've lost count. I think I finished two, but I was already at the bottom of one when we started, I think. I don't know. I don't count them. Demyelinated. That kind of. I was thinking of a specific human condition that does that kind of thing. It's got a name. No, I'm not gonna. Don't worry about it, mate. Don't worry about it. Sausage roll. Your choice, mate. I mean, I just caution against people who start sending me too much too often or whatever. Just be careful of this whole parasocial thing. You're all great, and I know that we've become kind of sort of friendly, but we've never met. We don't know each other really. It's all a little bit. The psychology of it worries me a bit. But yeah, okay. The final choice is yours. Your money. Do with this. If you view us as a worthy cause, and as long as you've got yourself covered for everything you need, and you've got a good buffer, you know. Everybody. This is another thing from my prepping kind of not background. That's not the right word, but my prepper mentality. Everybody should make sure they've got at least 6 months' money set to one side. You never know what. When we talk about prepping and it's disasters, but it starts with personal disasters. You lose a job, or you get accused of something, and nobody talks to you anymore. All your friends are gone. Your job's gone. Some accusations can kind of end careers, relationships, lives. You never know what disasters around the corner. Everybody should have a good word set aside for those personal. It doesn't have to be like a world. It's not. It doesn't have to be like asteroids hitting the. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to be nuclear war. You get accused of touchy, and nobody wants to talk to you anymore, and away you go. Anything, whatever. Personal disasters, as simple as just losing a job or a company going bust. Everybody should have a good chunk set, like I did when I came out here. I had a good chunk set aside to live on for a few years. I was thinking of potentially purchasing a small rundown apartment. You can still get them for 30 or 40,000 out here, and you could certainly get them back when I first got here 10 years ago. Um, won't be in the best area. Might be in an older building that's starting to fall apart. So that's the other thing. But all I'm saying is everybody should guard their own money carefully. Don't be don't be giving it away until you're secure in your own multiple sclerosis. Thank you, for fuck's sake. What is wrong with me? Jeez, and I knew there was a two-letter abbreviation and I couldn't get there. Fuck. Tell me there's not something wrong with this cabbaged head of mine. I think Tina has some kind of doggy equivalent. The way that I can stroke her now and that the legs go, even in her sleep, so it's not a choice. I used to struggle for like half an hour to find that one spot on her belly to tickle and make the legs do this. And it was only one leg that would do it. Now it's both legs. Oh, the other leg more than the original leg. Only the back ones, but I touch her anywhere and the leg goes. And if she's standing on that leg and it goes, over she goes, falls over. So I have to be careful when we're out and I'm saying good girl and I can stroke her head and if she's taking her own weight and I'm not holding her up, which is rare enough nowadays, but she would fall over. Or I'd at least have to suddenly grab her and support her. I was just looking earlier. Remember my 2 packs of painkillers? My 1 gram paracetamol and 600 milligram ibuprofen. I haven't taken one in, it's over a week, it might be 2 weeks. I haven't, touch wood, but I'm tempting fate. I haven't ragged my back. I haven't re-injured that injury from 4 months ago, whenever it was. But the majority of when I have retweaked it has been Tina falling over all of a sudden, me being taken by surprise at the extra weight or the imbalance. That's not happened for a while. As I said, the tablets are here for when I need them. But yeah, now she's running in her sleep. Are you? Or did you just wake up? You were running in your sleep. You did wake yourself up. Okay, good. Tina's okay. Have a nice sleep. You can run in your sleep and kick me as much as you want, darling, forever. It's okay. One day you'll be gone and I'll look back with fondness on the days that you kicked me. That's the kind of outlook you got to have. This is not going to last forever. So even the bad bits, I will one day look back on with fondness. Being kicked to death in my sleep while she's running in her dreams. Like I said, folks, I don't think she's going to be here forever. At the turn of the year, I thought we had a month or two. She seemed to be deteriorating that much. Then it stabilized. It looked like it even got better a bit. I started to think maybe it had like been a stroke or something temporary and just work through it. I started to have those thoughts because not only was it not getting worse, I thought, and I could have been fooling myself, but I thought it was starting to get better. But I can't be sure. I think we're on a downward trajectory. Let's not go too far into that. I don't want to be. It was Jack Attack getting MS, yeah. Sausage Roll was saying you could be there one day and you do what goes around comes around. Yeah, yeah. Fair play. You put it out into the universe and hope that one day if you're in need it comes back, yeah. I will, I mean, I promise everybody this. Oh, when I get out of this, if ever I get out of this, I will be paying it forward. If not paying it back, if I can pay back to people, I will. But where that's not a thing or where people don't want it, I will pay it forward onto others. Um, if I'm, if and as and when I'm in a position to. I've already said I've viewed these years here as me using up my retirement years, my pension years. I don't have any kind of pension set up. Never was never a believer in like the state pension. I didn't believe by the time we get there that it would exist. I think the state pension is kind of built on a house of cards, as is most government funding. When you look at it, the size of the deficit each year is one thing, but that's just how much more we get into debt. The country gets into debt each year. The overall debt is huge. The newspapers focus on the deficit. That's just how much you're in debt that year, how much extra you're piling on. But the total that's accruing behind the scenes with interest on top. What was it? I think it was an American politician said something today or yesterday that if their national debt carries on, if the total national debt that they've got carries on increasing the way it has over the last 10 or 20 years, that in something like 40 years, the total government income will only be enough to pay the interest. It won't be enough to pay for any services or to be paying off any of the principal, any of the loan that's outstanding. If it carries on increasing, the total government income will only be enough. I think it was an American senator or whatever. But that's a frightening prospect. A government that's only got enough to pay the interest and can't pay for police, fire, ambulance, da. Although America and ambulance baffles me because a lot of it's just done by the fire service or whatever. They don't have a. There seems not to be like a separate emergency service for ambulances. Like in Britain, you dial 999 and they ask which service do you require, and the top three, your police, fire, and ambulance. There are others: Coast Guard, Mountain Rescue, Cave Rescue. I think is another one. Some of them might be regional, not sure. But America doesn't seem to have ambulance service. I keep watching that they call up these technicians for someone who's injured. Especially the main place I see this is people that have been beaten up by the police. And it's a fire engine kind of thing, a fire brigade truck that pulls up. EMT they call them, don't they? I don't know what it stands for. Emergency medical technician, maybe? Not sure. I'm rambling. Yeah. Compassion. Humanity. What's the other word? Just putting generosity out there. Almost had it. I had half a word and I lost it. Oh, I hit my brain. It's not going to be there. I'll remember it at 4 o'clock in the morning. You don't want to spend your money on cruelty. That's just evil. Yeah, well said. National debt, national savings is people saving with the government. National debt is the government spending the next 2 generations' money. Yeah, national savings and national debt are a little different. Like things like bonds, like premium bonds or just government bonds. But there are other bonds, the stuff that's already owed out there. When you totally all what we owe to other countries and to like European banks or world banks or whatever, it's all very complicated. They can always pay, only so long as they can tax the current generation enough this year to pay what's owed. But if you reach a point where the interest on the debt that is owed, and it keeps, the problem is we hit a period, I can't remember what it was. Was it under Thatcher? No, I don't think it was. Might have been. It might have been with Leon Britton when he was the Chancellor. Leon Britton, not Leon Britton. Nigel Lawson, maybe. Or Geoffrey Howe. Oh, which one was it? We hit a period where not only were we level, we weren't. There was no national deficit. Not only was there no national deficit, but we were actually paying off the underlying total national debt fractionally, but we were making a positive contribution. And suddenly everyone was like, "Wow! If we could do that for 15 or 20 years, we can put a hole in the thing." You got to remember, folks. You remember that little skirmish called the Second World War? We only paid off the last loan repayment of that within something like the last 10 years. Because interest on interest, compound interest, large principal loan, compound interest, year on year on year on year, we only just paid that off recently. So some of the other debts that we've accrued since then, since the Second World War, are still active and still out there. Okay. Where are we going with staying alive? Farmer sometimes takes leaps that I can't follow. There's usually some sense in there once it's explained, but yeah, it was probably take 1600s. When are we thinking? 1600 do Lizzie, but yeah, okay, the Armada probably, and wars with Spain, France and Spain. That's who our nuclear weapons are defaulted to aim at, I'm sure. We point them at France permanently, and only if Russia says something silly do we start like reprogramming them and pointing them at Russia. By default, if someone just hits a red button, it's France that goes boom. I'm sure of it, historically. But yeah, the 1600s will be Elizabeth and those Tudor type, the Tudors and then the Stuarts, and the battles in various locales around the world. It's always a thing, isn't it? When kings and queens want to fund a battle. Or if we go back earlier to the 12th or 13th century, it wasn't so much debt, they just took it from everybody. They taxed everybody highly to get Richard the Lionheart back, to pay the ransom. Okay, help others staying alive. Okay. I get you. You see, it's bad that I need it explaining, isn't it? Okay, folks, anybody out there that isn't in the chat and hasn't said hello, if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet, why not? It's free. We got 0 extra subscribers today during the proper TrampCast. We went for 3.5 hours. I thought it was quite entertaining. I'll have to check back tomorrow when I watch it back. I need 2 or 3 days after Sunday to watch them back now. We clock up that many hours. What did we do? 3.5 or more in the main one. We're coming up for 3.5. That's 7 hours of TrampCast of one variation or another. So I need to find 7 hours to watch it back. And as I've been doing recently, I've been trying to make notes of corrections or where I've thrown out one of these questions and it maybe doesn't get answered, or where I've said something that I find to be wrong, I'm trying to correct, put a list of corrections together. But I haven't found time to complete one yet and actually publish it, which is terrible. I get you, the staying alive. I get the Saturday Night Fever reference. Yeah. All money comes from the government. Oh, you could make the opposite argument and say all government money comes from the people. I mean, the government print the money and are kind of in charge of controlling that it's not counterfeited to too much of an extent. I'd argue that the money, well, let's not say money, let's say wealth. If you had a village, let's go back to tribal days, Africa or wherever. Yeah, let's say you had a village of 100 people, 50 working men. No, let's say 200 people. There's 100 working men, men of working age. If they sit around and do nothing, there's no wealth, there's nothing getting created, there's nothing getting done. If they do work, they club together, chop down some trees, build some huts, pack some mud against it, whatever, whether it's timber framed or just mud, whatever. They build some huts. They build a big hole initially. You need a big hole for everyone to be in. And then you start building little dwellings for families. And as people have children and need more, people build things. The people doing work creates wealth, it creates prosperity. The government then sometimes you need a medium of exchange. Okay, I don't think I was gone for too long. What I was saying is the tribe build a bunch of houses and halls and whatever. But eventually you need a medium of exchange. If I've got a field full of cauliflowers and you've got a ranch full of chickens, how do we swap chickens for cauliflowers? We need some medium of exchange, and the government setting that up and deciding on it, printing it, making sure it's not easily copied, counterfeited. That's government's role, really. But then we started with fiat currency, where I put £1,000 in the bank, and the bank knows that I'm unlikely to ask for that £1,000 back. So they, on paper, start lending it out to people, but they never, even the person that they loan, that they say, yeah, you've got a line of credit worth £1,000. They don't give them the £1,000. They let them withdraw maybe 100 of it now, and then they let someone else withdraw 1,000 and give them 100 of it, and suddenly that 1,000 that was real becomes almost 10,000 on paper because of the lines of credit that have been created. And as long as everybody doesn't start asking for the money back at once, which is called a run on the bank, isn't it, when that happens? But this is where governments get funny, and then they start offering bonds, and then stock markets kick in, and people start gambling on pretend money, and it all just goes wrong from there, in my humble opinion. But yeah, Keynesian multiplier is a clever thing if used properly. Similar idea. The government's sitting on a pile of pretend money, and they build roadways or do something that the country needs. Canals in one time, wasn't it? At once it was canals, railways, motorways, whatever it is, government infrastructure projects. And because the government pays out, let's say, £1 million to have some roads built, and all those workers are getting a good wage. There's £1 million gone out in wages somewhere, or to buy product, and whoever sold it is making a profit on it. And those people take that million and are putting it in the bank and buying things. And the people who they bought them off now have the money and they buy things. And the people they bought from get the money and buy things. And everybody's being taxed at every level of it. Yeah. Money multiplies because it's because it's in a bank. Usually, typically. But yeah, that spending power, that same £100 or a million gets spent time and time and time and time again, one way or another. That's a myth, Mike. Whoa! I did an economics, not an economics degree. I did an economics A level and then some economics within my degree. There are arguments about multipliers and what have you, but certain booms in history have been caused by people following Keynesian economics. Bank of England is owned by the UK government. Probably. It's not operated by them though. It's operated by an independent board, allegedly. Who when they leave go off to run Canada. Maybe. I still can't remember the guy's name. Canadian Prime Minister Mark somebody or other used to be the head of the Bank of England, or chairman of the Bank of England, or treasurer. He was the one whose signature appeared on the notes. Oh, look at this. The count has reset again. We're only on 1 hour. Tina, whoa, whoa, where are you? Okay, then, wait. You're damaging the tent. Whoa. Fucking hell, girl. Hey, that was bad. How did you manage that? Little Miss Devon. Hey, steady. I've just rescued you. How the hell did you fall off the side of the bed? You silly girl. What are you doing? Let me get my leg back. You're lying on the leg. Oh, that's okay, babe. I got you. Well, that was different, wasn't it? I'll check in the morning to see whether you've damaged the tent. I hope not. That was weird. Oh, God. You won't have seen that, but you will have heard. Her ladyship managed to fall off the edge of the bed into the kind of the gutter down the side of the bed, and then she's panicking and clawing at everything with all 4 legs. This is why you should stay cuddling your daddy and not be off right on the edge of the bed. Now you're going to try and lay diagonally, and you're stealing my... I'm here, babe. This is my bit. Oh, God. Get my pillow back into action. Where were we, guys? I was saying about... Oh, Thomas. Can't believe it's Mark Carney. And you see, I remembered the Mark part. Carne, I'll try and remember. Carne as in meat. Carnivore. Whoa, what's... Okay, that's fading out. That's okay. Where am I? The phone is unplugged. Where am I for power? 37%. I don't know whether to plug it in and risk having it go crackly or anything, but... carry out, yeah, supposedly independent. There's a board of trustees or whatever they're called, and they set economic policy, whether the interest rates are supposed to go up or down, try and maintain the balance of funds and whatever. Yeah, complicated. You see, there's like a house of cards there. There's stuff built on stuff, because once upon a time, a pound sterling was a literal pound of sterling silver. And that's why your notes, which are a promissory note, used to read, I promise to pay the bearer on demand. And the idea was you would hand over your pound note and get your pound of silver. That went away a long time ago. That's why our currency is called sterling silver. Or pound, because pound of weight, a pound of silver. It's why the symbol for our currency is an L. or a stylized L. It's an L with the top bent over and a line put through. For Libra, for the scales, for the weight. It's also why a pound has this symbol LB, the pound weight. In Britain anyway. I don't know about other countries. America use a hash symbol for a pound of weight, I believe. Also, why it's called a pound key on phones and stuff historically, rather than a hash key in America. I believe. I can't be 100% sure. But yeah, these are things I've gleaned over the years. Have I frightened people away, or is chat frozen? No, I'm there. I'm up to date. Mark Carney, yeah. I found it strange that someone who could have been the head of the Bank of England is actually a Canuck. You can't imagine someone being the head of the Federal Reserve who's not American, can you? I don't think that could happen. Then again, I'm about to get racist and political. Not really, but we've had people who are heads of government who aren't necessarily British much. I'm not going to go off on that one. I'm not going to follow that line. It sounds racist, but isn't meant to be. It's an observation. But there are certain groups within the British society that are overrepresented in politics at all levels, from your town council or village, what do you call them now, parish council, all the way up to senior government. There are people in senior positions who 3 generations ago they'd have no family here. That seems weird. But I don't want to go off on that one because there be dragons. I already, let me tell you what happened to me today. I got like a strike or a hit. I got a thing on Twitter for hateful comments or hateful language. Somebody posted a book. Somebody said, "Hey, I was looking through Grandad's books and I found this." I'm not going to say the word, but it's a really old word for a black person, like a name, like an individual. You might have called him. Begins with Sam. Okay, I think you can probably get there. Anyway, I posted a comment. So it wasn't my post, but I posted a comment saying that in Heysham, which is a village next door to Morecambe, where I lived, it's not even a separate village. You drive and there's no break between the two. It's conurbation again. We had that discussion. But in Heysham, there's a grave. And it's the guy's grave. Sam and pull back an arrow, you know what I mean? Drop the W. Literally from 1800 or whenever, but there's a bloke's grave marked, and that's the name. And that's all I said. I pulled up a link, and there was the link, and then there was a line of just Matey Boy's grave, black man grave, yeah. But the words black man weren't there. There was a name. And I got this comment has limited distribution, blah blah. You'd have to click the unwholesome post thing to see it. I appealed, and it took them about 6 hours, and appeal rejected. This is hateful commentary, and I'm like, it's historical fact that there's a grave in Heysham with that name on. What did I do wrong? Somebody posted a book with that name, and I said, there's his grave. Historical fact. not just hateful. What was it? It was hateful and not derogatory, but like attacking. The fuck? I don't know. Maybe I'll try and appeal to Elon. Tina, you are underneath me, darling. Okay, that might work. There you go. Just don't fall off the side again, okay? There's only so many times I can rescue you in one day. What if I was asleep? You could have been wriggling there for hours. Okay, folks, where am I? The laws of ownership of central banks are deliberately complicated. Once upon a time, it was probably a bunch of like private investors or donors to fund. What you remember the one about the crown jewels getting washed away in the wash? That area, Norfolk-ish. Money had to be raised. Donations, taxes, investors, banks, can't remember. They had to kind of rebuild the Bank of England or whatever, refund the monarchy. Sausage roll has to go get up in the morning. I think I'm going to call it quits soon. I don't think I can go. I'm glad Tina seems to have settled. It's 2 in the morning. I can always put the fan back on. I will probably take her for a quick walkies anyway, just to see if there's any of that. But I think it was the heat because of the way she's calmed down. Apart from the little accident of falling off the bed into the gutter at the side there. Hey babe, you okay? What time are we on, folks? 2:04, so I have just missed the top of the hour sign off. And my timer tells did I start at 10:30? Maybe go while 2:30 if anybody wants to do another 20 minutes or so. Catch you later, sausage roll. Sausage rural. You're like a rural sausage. Tina, what is this? I thought we were calming down and going to sleep. Go to sleep. Good girl. I don't think I'd be comfortable sleeping in this bedroom with the door wide open. The bedroom, I don't know why. I just haven't done it before. Don't know. A little bit weird. Good night, crisps. Chaps with a typo. No worries. Who's left? Anybody still with me, or have we all left? I think Jack Attack's still out there. It says there are 9 of us here still. Okay, 8. I think that was Sausage Roll just leaving. 8 of us here, plus me. If you haven't already, folks, maybe, possibly. So I think this is one of our lowest scoring on the thumbs up, isn't it? When I stepped out earlier, when I had to step out, when it went all potato vision, I went into the I can never remember the name of the damn studio, YouTube Studio app, and we were getting 60 visits per hour almost. So we've had like 200 or 300 people in here in total. But I'm guessing it's strangers dropping in for the first time, dropping in mid-conversation, no context. They don't get the explanation that you would get like at the beginning of a proper TrampCast or whatever. So they're dropping in, having a look, sticking around for 5 or 10 minutes and leaving. And unfortunately, no thumbs up, no subscribes. Maybe they're just arriving and thinking, what is this crap? Who is this idiot? What can you do? It's not like I can like pre-record an introductory 10 minutes and give them the option of watching that before dropping in to watch live. Maybe if it piques their interest, they'll come back tomorrow and watch on demand from the beginning. Maybe, possibly. I don't know. If you are a newbie here, feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. Ask any questions. If all you've seen is a thumbnail listed on YouTube and the most basic of descriptions, hang out with a tramp, chat with a tramp. If that's you, you've seen that for the first time, you've clicked on it out of pure random interest, and you're wondering what the hell's what. I don't want to keep giving the same intro over and over at random, but if someone comes and asks, I'll give a potted history and introduce myself and the channel. I am Delta Mike. The channel is Delta Mike, down and out in Torrevieja. Down and out, a tramp, a homeless guy, a hobo, a vagrant. I just scared 3 or 4 away at once. I'm doing well. But that's the situation. An Englishman trapped by circumstance in Spain. It'd be nice to say hello, but you could always just drop in and leave. Moonhawk's still here. That's okay. Jack Attack still is a recording. Away from keyboard is one way of saying AFK. Or just stepping in and out as you see fit. I had a display there for a second saying that there was like 10 or 11 people here, and then I opened my mouth and they all left, down to 7 with 12 thumbs up. And I am going to call it quits at 2:30 my time, which is 20 minutes away. That's as far as I'm going to go today, I think. But if you are out there and lurking, I'm happy to address any questions or give a larger introduction. If you want more information and you've got the time, TrampCast 001. Like 2 separate words. TrampCast is one word, a space, and then the number 001. Should get you what you need. It answers all of the background, all of those questions. But yeah, for those of us that are here and taking part in chat, which is the main purpose, so I won't talk too much to the lurkers directly. I will talk to my chat because that's the purpose of a hangout, isn't it? And to say cheers to all of you, whether lurker or chatterer. That doesn't sound like a real word. Cheers to the lot of you. Even to the recordings. What are we going to talk about for 20 minutes then, guys? Oh, I was just looking at her. I was sure she'd settled. Suddenly her head moves. She starts chewing at something that's not really there. You eating a fly or an insect? What you got? What you got? What did you find? Oh, am I going to make it through 20 minutes? There's a question. And the real surprise is that one of my sets of lights over here is still on. One of my Christmas... One of them there is really dim but flickering. It's a bit annoying. I might turn that off. But one of them's still going strong. One of them, I don't know if there's a cure for this. One of them had something crusty over the top of the little solar panel. So it doesn't get a good charge. I've tried just like scouring it with my fingernail and stuff. I don't think it was something on it. I think it was that thing where the plastic or a covering kind of bubbles up and clouds the surface. It was a rough kind of scuffy kind of thing. I know I've seen things in the past like where people make cloudy headlights clear just by wiping a certain a lacquer or something over the top. I think this needs a more of a scouring and then some kind of polishing or whatever. But the bottom lights there are going strong. Quite impressed. I think. Oh, this is the second night. I put them out the day before. Just this morning I forgot to put my Christmas lights out. So for anybody new who's wondering what I'm wittering on about, I'll give a quick tour of the bedroom. So here I've got a lantern. Here I've got an EcoFlow River 2. Here I've got a string of Christmas lights, solar powered, that are still working. The ones above are the ones with the scuffed up solar panel and a bad connection, so they don't always get a good charge. And here's a fan connected to the EcoFlow, which we used to cool Tina down before. She was quite upset about something. There's a string of fairy lights that they've gone off already, and then they somehow came back on, but really badly, and lost their settings. And here's my girl. Whoa, it's okay, Tina. Here's Tina. Who's been a bit of a nuisance tonight, but I think she was overheated. We couldn't work out what was wrong with her. She wouldn't behave, but she didn't indicate she wanted to go for a walk. She refused water. She's already been fed and walked, but didn't do anything on the walk. So there's all these questions. What did she want? What was wrong with her? She was puffing and panting and drooling a bit, dribbling, whatever the word is, and unsettled. She wouldn't lie still. She kept moving. But I put the fan on for half an hour, not even half an hour, quarter of an hour maybe. It got a bit cold in here. She cooled down, and I think she's been better since, although she fell asleep and then fell off the bed into the gutter between the mattress and the fabric of the bedroom in the tent. And because she was asleep when she did it, she was just a bit panicky. Had to be rescued by Daddy, didn't you? Had to be rescued. Yeah. I'm gibbering, folks. I think I don't think I'm going to make another quarter of an hour. I think we're going to call it quits here. Unless anybody's asked anything interesting or... No, I think we're done. I'm out of topics. I'm yawning. Eyes are watering. I'm ready for sleep. The sound was fine with the fan. That's encouraging. It's about positioning and angles. I had it off at like 45 degrees from me. I caught the edge of it. The phone probably caught the edge. Tina got the brunt of it. When I'm doing a TrampCast or something, it'll be no good. But in bed at night, if we have more of these nights, it is currently still... I can't see it. Can I get closer to this light? Is this light on? It is on its brightest setting, but I let the power run down too much before. It's way above 20. It's still above 25. It's at least 25, let's put it that way. I'm trying to see in the dark, and you have to twist it funny. 25 degrees at 2:15 in the morning. That's a tropical night. The temperature, there's no way it's going to fall below 20 in the next 4 hours, 5 hours. I don't know when they take it to, but the idea is it has to stay above 20 all night, but when is night? I guess it just doesn't fall below it at all, because it'll start picking up temperature at 8 o'clock again, won't it? So yeah, there's no way it's going to fall now by any noticeable amount. Okay, folks, let's 2:15 in the yawning. A new day is dawning. Don't fight the eyelids, it's useless. We're going to end in the tradition of the channel, if we can, which is from Tina. Night, everyone. From Tina. Oh, did the wrong thing. And from me, Delta Mike. Out. Awkward moment.